evening. Today is Tuesday, September 30th, 2025, and we are here for the Hendrick Hudson Board of Education meeting. Can I ask for a motion to open the meeting?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? The Hendrick Hudson Board of Education would like to move to executive session. The Hendrick Hudson School District Board of Education will convene for the purpose of collective negotiations under the Taylor Law, medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment or employment or promotion or demotion or discipline or suspension or removal of a particular person or corporation. Can I get a motion to move into executive session?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Good evening and welcome back to our Tuesday, September 30th Hendrick Hudson Board of Education meeting. Can we all please stand for the pledge?
To the flag of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I would like to ask if there's anyone here for the public hearing on the district-wide safety plan.
Not at this moment. Want to wait a couple minutes to see someone in a minute or so?
Sure.
So while we're waiting, for point of context, the reason why we put our district-wide safety plan back up for both public comment and hearing and board approval is after we adopted, went through this process earlier this summer, New York State came out with a mandatory addendum to that safety plan requiring us to have a cardiac response plan in place. So this hearing is being held to see if the public has any questions on that, and then the board will, similar to what they did before in the summer, they will take a vote to adopt that plan, and then the district will submit as our district safety plan with the new addendum.
Cool. Thank you.
And so the purpose of the public hearing is to allow the public anytime to share their thoughts, their questions, their concerns about the new revisions through this addendum to our plan.
Can I ask for a motion to approve the updated district-wide safety plan?
Motion to approve the district-wide safety plan.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you, and that brings us to our approval of our agenda. Yes,
Can I make a motion to move presentation 9.1, the NYSSBA proposed resolutions for 2025, to after section 13 policy readings? Policy readings?
Second.
all in favor? Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda as stated with the revision of moving 9.1 to after section 13 policy readings?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Now we move on to the hearing of the public on non-agenda items. Carmen, do we have anyone?
We do not.
And that brings us to the fun time, our presentations and discussions. So we have tonight the 2025-2026 PTAs here with us.
So thank you. I'll go ahead and introduce. So we're very excited to be joined by our fantastic partners through the Parent-Teacher Association. We will have tonight the representatives from the Hendrick Hudson High School Parent-Teacher Association, our Blue Mountain Middle School Parent-Teacher Association, our Hendrick Hudson Elementary Schools Parent-Teacher Organization, our Special Education Parent-Teacher Association, and our PTA Advocacy group. And I think those of you who know, but for those of you who may not know watching at home, our PTA consistently demonstrates that it is a passionate organization dedicated to fostering partnerships between families, schools, and the community to support our students and their success. I want to express my deep appreciation. The PTA was one of the first groups that I met with prior to upon becoming superintendent, and immediately I saw the unwavering commitment of the PTA to ensure that all of the students of Hendrick Hudson have experiences that are memorable, meaningful, and relationship building across our community. PTA's advocacy, volunteerism, and creativity truly do make a real difference in the lives of our students. And again, I value the partnership and look forward to working closely with them as an organization throughout the school year to continue those strong connections. And this year, we look forward to the PTAs celebrating some accomplishments from last year, items that they're excited about for this year, and most importantly, how individuals can join our PTA. So I will turn it over to representatives from our high school PTA, Janine Eichenholz and Michelle Piccolo-Hill. So thank you for joining us.
That and the slides, our contact info next year. Thank you for having us. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and share some about our organization with you. We can start our first slide. Just list our officers for this year. We have a fantastic team. Most of us have known each other and worked together for a lot of years on a lot of different things, and we're very excited to be together as a board. Next slide. All right, priorities for this year. We like to do a lot of things to bring our kids together, and we like to do that in a way that is fun and easy for them to get to places. We do a lot of things in the school. So our first priority is events that allow our students to be together in low or no-cost environment without having to rely on transportation. So a lot of our events, like our carnivals, are immediately after school, and we try to make sure we do them on days where there is a late bus. So if students want to stay after, they have a way of getting home after that. We do as much as we can in the building during the day so that students have education and curriculum supporting events coming in, speakers, things like that. Anything that we can do to help promote their academic learning and achievement goals.
And also their social aspect of getting kids to hang out together in a non-stressful environment. Things of that nature were like the homecoming weekend. We had a homecoming dance. We also tend to host a winter carnival and Cinco de Mayo festival. We do things to really get the kids where they can just hang out together at the end of the day. Another initiative is the supportive student-run events, things like the Haunted High School. We try to be there to advocate for them and to just be an extra helping hand if they need our help. We offer the senior class opportunities to sell refreshments at some of our events, like the homecoming dance, because we know that senior year there's a lot of expenses, so they like to have events where they can start building their coffers so that they can apply it to things like the prom. And we also have a student representative to the PTSA, and again, we use peer leaders often in our carnivals to host events and entertainment and to work with us in conjunction with us.
In addition to working with our students, we also like to work, of course, with our administrators and our staff here. So we provide teacher grants. Every teacher has the opportunity to apply for a grant to support a program. We've done things like books in the classroom. We've supported out-of-school field trips and other events that will help teachers support their goals. We have grade-specific assemblies. We've brought in things in the past on safety, driver safety, things especially related around prom and graduation, making sure that our kids have the best knowledge and information to live a safe and good life. We work with the student assistance counselor. We've provided things in the past, like stickers, you know, the feely ones that you can do, so the sensory things. We've done that, provided those to all students. We do mental health programs whenever we can and support the ones that are done here in the school. A couple of years ago, we were running a career fair, and then last year Dr. Kleinman took it over and it became a school-related thing, and we're very happy to have helped kick that off, and then now provide support however we can for the guidance office's needs in keeping that program going. And then, of course, the ENL initiatives, things like all of our units have really focused on making sure that we have bilingual translations for all of our communications going out, and we want to make sure that we can include all of our families so that they feel comfortable in our meetings and in our events, as well as our students here in the school.
Fundraising. It is hard to make money as a high school PTSA. By the time parents get to the high school, they have spent a lot of money at the various PTAs. So we are trying to come up with new opportunities and initiatives to try and build money so that we can support the kids in school, to help support all the things that we've just been talking about, like the homecoming dances, the spring dance, the carnivals. Things that we're going to focus on this year, we're going to do a parents' night out. We're going to do babysitting. so that parents can leave their kids at the high school and then take the night, go shopping, go out to eat, do something of that nature. Hopefully we can work in conjunction with the high school kids and just offer an opportunity for the kids to have fun and the parents to have fun. Dine around town dinners. So we're going to be working with local restaurants so that hopefully some of the fundraising can come back, some of the profits can come back to the school. And we're also going to do a continuation of our tiered membership levels. So I'm sure we'll be talking about this later, but we are always happy to have people join the PTA. You do not have to come and work. Even just a pure donation also works. Just joining our PTA helps us. And we actually have a tiered membership level this year, so that we have a bronze level, a silver level, and a gold level, and we have really cute swag that you get to show that you're a really good advocate for our PTSA.
The only way you can get those items is by joining at those levels.
And they're
not
really,
available
really
for
cute.
outside purchase.
They're really cute,
Yeah.
so please look online for that.
So we invite all of you to join our PTA as well.
Yeah, come on! You don't have to come work.
We can share, since we didn't think of putting it on a slide, we can share, but all of us have Facebook presences. We have, and Instagram, so we are the Hendrick Hudson High School PTSA. So we're on social media and we try to share as much information as we can. And something that we stress to the families is you can do as little or as much as you want. And that goes for staff and that goes for other community members who want to support us. Joining helps, because that's how we start funding our programs. Aside from that, if you're a parent or a community member or a grandparent or a sibling and you want to just say, I can volunteer in a school for like 2 hours one afternoon, call me when you need me, that's awesome also. But if you want to come in and say, I have a great idea for a program I'd like to run, we will take you too.
And we'd love it.
We would love to have more people join. We are excited about that and some of the things that we're doing. So we welcome every family member and every community member to be involved as however they want in our unit. Next slide, please. All right, so our initiatives, events. So we held a Meet the Principal prior to our first meeting of the year for our new principal, Mrs. Martino Alves this year, and that was great. We had some parents who came to meet her, and then she spent some time really talking with us. We've had our homecoming dance, and it was awesome.
Really
kids
good
had a lot of
turnout.
fun, and we really enjoyed it. And the rest of our events are upcoming because it's still relatively early in the year. But we're very excited. We all love, Michelle especially, love London High School.
It's my favorite.
We are working on our SET, ACT prep classes that will be offered to sophomores, juniors, and even senior if they want to take it. And I will say from personal experience, I know that that particular program helped one of my kids raise his ECT score 3 points, and that's big on the ECT scale.
Also, along the lines of the SAT, ACT prep, it's very expensive. ACT, SAT prep is very, very expensive. So this offers an affordable way to get it. Yeah.
It really helps. So the carnivals that we do, both the Winter Carnival and our Cinco de Mayo Fiesta, are both free to the students. It's just food. Come eat, have fun, play games. There's music. It's fantastic. Obviously, we have our senior fashion show. If anybody hasn't been to that, come, because it's so much fun. The kids love it. And this year, the committee's coming up with some really cool themes for the kids, so they get to vote and pick and choose what they want to do. So those are our events. You can see them listed. If anybody has suggestions, we're happy to take them. If your students have suggestions, like, hey, this would be really cool, my friend does this at their school, we would love to see you here, yes, bring it. We will. Challenge accepted.
Fundraising efforts, I talked a little bit about this before. Again, please join the PTA. We also had the homecoming dance that helped us earn some money, Parents Night Out, SAT. We also do something called the 250 Challenge, where we just ask outright for donations if people want to donate. And then it's by class. So if the class hits a certain amount of money, then we divide the profits.
Once they hit the $250 mark, we split. So if they hit $250, then they get $125 and we get $125. If their class raises $1,000, they get $500 and then we take the balance. And it's a contest amongst the classes. And this year's senior class has won every single year since they started. So class of 2026, just start saving your pennies now. That'll be up in January.
The senior fashion show is a huge fundraising opportunity for us. And what's great about that is that the profits go to the senior class. So they go to grants, and we've actually awarded a lot of scholarships.
3 dozen scholarships ranging from, I want to say, 250 to 500.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
we give $9,000 back to the senior class. We also give them some money for prom, and we do try to do something to also support the entire school. with those
How much we give back is dependent upon how much we make, so that's a really great opportunity. And you don't have to be a senior parent or someone affiliated with a senior to go. It's a really fun night. The young kids have a great time because they see the kids strut their stuff on the catwalk in great fashion. There are lights, there's music. It's just very, very festive and very fun. So for younger kids, they get to see some of these older kids that have been their babysitters or their cheerleaders or, you know, they're as fashion icons. Graduation, we've sold flowers at graduation, and we also do a DVD for seniors if they want to buy for graduation.
But it covers all graduation events, so it's the senior walk, it's prom, there's photos, I mean, probably hundreds of photos go into that. Going back to the fashion show really quick, I just want to say that something that we started last year and we're going to be continuing this year is there will be a donation box in the front lobby of the high school. It won't be in the first vestibule, not inside the building. So if anybody has going through clothes and they want to donate them, the senior class will take them. We ask that they're in good condition and they can be worn. And anything that we aren't able to use, we will make sure that it gets donated to an appropriate organization. But that's something that we hope we're going to be advertising to the community. We will take your awesome pieces of clothing that you think look really awesome on our seniors as they walk.
Considerations for this year. We want to do more. We always want to do more. We want to do more for the kids. We want to do more for the teachers. So we want to increase assemblies that we can help with, teachers' grants, field trips. We want to have greater attention to the ninth grade transition. This year, the middle school was wonderful and really, I won't steal their thunder. I'm sure they're going to talk about it when they come up here, but it was a great transition to the high school and a really wonderful collaboration. They did a fabulous job. And we want to create potentially a parent advisory council to assist with the high school transition. So when kids go to the high school, it's not just a transition for the kids, it's a huge transition for parents. High school can be intimidating and scary, and it's really not. Once you have kids that go there, you realize what a wonderful place it is, full of opportunities. But you need to talk to old people like us to find out what a great opportunity it is. Yeah, totally, just experience. So we want to create that kind of a council so that if you have questions and you're going, oh my God, what's the first day like? You know, what are exams like? I mean, when my kids first started, I had no idea that kids don't come into school every day until the end of school, like the 24th or the 25th. They have an exam period where they come in if they have an exam or they have review. So these are things that you don't know until your kids are actually in the mix.
And then BOE support and advocacy, obviously, I agree with you guys all know me, advocacy is a huge thing for me, and I fully support PTA as the largest national advocacy organization. But so we work a lot, obviously, with you guys, and we're very happy to be here today. And if there's ever anything you want to hear about, if you've seen something on Facebook or you saw it in an email and you're like, hey, can you tell me, how did it go when you guys helped out with Mountain High School? We'll tell you. We don't need to come here, twice a year. We can tell you anytime you want to know. We are happy to share information with you. And then our head of advocacy, we have Lisa Anderson's been our rep for the last couple of years, and she does an amazing job co-running that group with the other unit chairs. We're really excited. One of the things that we're most proud of is that our high school students have been the moderators for our BOE Candidates Forum for the last 3 years. Yeah, 3. And it's fantastic to see our students up there, leading the way and showing great examples in our community. And then we provide support for them as often as we can and whatever way we can. And then this kind of wraps us up. We are very happy to collaborate with the other units in our district. The only way we can do things and the way we can get things done the best is by working together. So we specifically called out the middle school here because the middle school and high school have worked together on certain programs for years, like our Ask a Ninth Grader panel, where we have current 8th graders come into our building and we have current 9th graders there to answer their questions. And it's student run. The kids ask the questions, the kids answer the questions. We just make sure the mic goes to the right person as they need it. And that's something that we've done, we're really happy about. We've done well the last few years.
Sure. I mean, we have SEPTA and advocacy reports at every PTSA meeting because, they're really important groups. So it's important that everyone remains on top of all of their hard work.
They represent every student in the district, not just our high school kids. So we're very happy to make sure that we include their information. And then just things like we have our Spirit Wear sale, the middle school and high school run that together. It just wrapped up for the fall, and you'll see us again in spring. Yeah. Questions? Anyone? Yes, ma'am.
You forgot to tell us how to join.
Oh, yeah.
Easy. So every school has their own store through GiveBacks, is the website that national and state PTA use. So we will share that information because off the top of my head, it's like hhhs.pta.store.something. But if you search GiveBacks in Hendrick Hudson High School, it might pop up. But it's on our Facebook page, and if it's not linked already, I'll make sure that it's pinned at the top. You can reach us via our email, which is hhhs.pta, not PTSA, just PTA, @henhoodschools.org. We check that multiple times a day. Facebook, Instagram, and then if you know us, just reach out to us directly, and we're happy to answer questions. And if you know of people who have questions, please direct them to us as well. We'll send all of you an email with an invitation, and the link will be right in it.
Yeah, and we have multiple memberships. We have student memberships, parent memberships, family memberships.
We have
And
sponsor
then again,
membership. If you want
yeah.
to sponsor a membership for a staff member, you can do that as well.
I think there's also a link on the district website
Excellent.
for each of the PTAs.
Yeah,
We've
So
been slowly
everybody
updating-
listening at home.
We've been
Yeah.
slowly updating our page on the district website. It has to go through a couple of channels, so we're working on that.
Yeah, and again, there's always this misnomer that if you join, we're gonna harass you and make you come and do all these different things. We will not. We're happy to have you come, we're happy to have your involvement, but you do not have to come. But your involvement and your membership helps us because it shows how invested our parents are in the PTSA. It gives us the monetary boost, but it also gives us the boost from a statewide level when they're looking to PTSA because they do measure how many members you have in school. So it really does help us. It's important.
I found your website.
Excellent.
It is hhhsptsa.givebacks.com.
Oh, of course, yes.
And all the levels are
Thank
there.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We now welcome our valued partners from our Blue Mountain Middle School PTA.
Really, you might want to start looking up art.
Back to my Google search.
She's dealing with service.
I went to Benita.
Oh, okay.
Good evening. So the Blue Mountain PTA is focused on partnering with Dr. Toro and fundraising to establish some new traditions at the middle school. We are establishing parent lead committees for fundraising, student engagement, teacher appreciation, and more. We hosted our first Blue Mountain Bites event, partnering with Capriccios to give 50% of every order that mentions Blue Mountain back to the PTA. And this will be a monthly effort where we engage the community and local establishments. So please look forward, keep an eye on that each month. We are working on a school-wide student lead fundraiser to happen in a few weeks, details to be announced soon. We are also hosting our first book fair in about 5 years. I think it's the first one in about 5 years, with Scholastic around Election Day. So where we will also have an annual bake sale. We are excited to partner with Dr. Toro and the staff at Blue Mountain to provide support for teacher grant requests, staff appreciation, and engagement where possible. Last year, we hosted our first Parents' Night Out event, which was a great success, and we're looking forward to a similar event this year around March Madness. We also had an opportunity to help welcome the 9th graders to the high school by coordinating a trip to the Spins after orientation. This was a true collaboration between both principals to get the incoming class together, and they had a great time. And a special thank you to Ms. Marissa Dietrich for seeing an opportunity and making it happen. The best way to support the PTA is to become a member, since a portion of your membership goes towards our fundraising efforts, and it doesn't require any time to be a member. Links to join are available in our emails and on our social media. And a thank you to Dr. Toro, who also puts it on his blast on his weekly emails.
Membership is the low commitment. That's all that
We can ask.
all of us ask for, is just join. That is the best way we can, get involved. And we are excited this year to, maybe bridge some gaps in the middle school that we kind of see between, the staff and Dr. Toro wants to do some things, so we really want to show that we're here to support and not come in and take. Yes. It's important that we get that noted. So.
Your website is a little bit easier. It is bmms.givebacks.com.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
We'll now ask our partners from the Hendrick Hudson Elementary PTA to join us.
All right. Hello, and first of all, thank you guys so much for allowing our elementary PTA to come and share a little bit about who we are and what we did last year and what we hope to do for this upcoming school year, at least just for the next month, because we got a long way to go. So who we are the Hendrick Hudson PTA. Our executive team is made up of up to 11 members. We have 2 co-presidents, myself and Rebecca. We have 6 vice presidents, so 2 at each elementary school. Heath Woolfield is our corresponding and recording secretary, and Victor Huke is our treasurer. And I must say that we have created a historical moment here by having 2 males on our executive committee for the PTA, so I want to make sure to shout that out because we're very proud of that. Our PTA is 100% volunteer. Just like everyone else has said before, just by purchasing a membership, you are supporting the PTA. You are allowing a portion of those proceeds and those funds to help us create memorable events and activities for our students. And just like the high school was mentioning earlier, we also have different levels of membership. We have a standard membership, additional family member, teacher, staff, and also a student membership. Next slide. So I'm going to turn over to Rebecca to kind of talk about our highlights from the previous school year.
Also, just for reference, we support all 3 buildings, and pre-K is invited to a lot of our events and functions throughout the year as well, so we want to make sure we're involving all of our youngest sailors. Let's see. Last year, we were able to exceed our membership goal, which was set by New York State at 310. And currently, we're over 50% of the way there for our 340 membership goal for this year. So yeah, thank you. And so purchase a membership. Let's see, last year, we were able to do more than $7,000 in field trips and out-of-building enrichment for our students. That was across at least 4 grades in the schools. And then we were also able to do almost $8,000 in grants for our buildings, for teachers and staff. These covered things from additional flexible seating for music classes, language materials for some of the buildings for our E&L students. We supported refreshments for our 2nd grade folk dance, which was an awesome gathering for 2nd grades for both buildings. Met at FGL, and the music teachers did an amazing job with that one. We have done playground meetups both last summer and then this past summer, so that way students can come together before the year starts. And then also we did decor for the end of year celebrations across the 3 buildings. One of the other things that we were able to do this past year is all staff were given scholastic bucks. After our scholastic book fair, they were able to use these to buy materials for their classrooms, just to kind of support them. Let's see.
Next slide. So we can only talk about what's coming up for the next month. Because there's a lot of stuff that's happening. We don't want to overwhelm anyone. So I'm sure some of your kids may have already been mentioning this. When is school store? It is coming next month. We will be having a school store. I believe our first school store will take place October 24th. If it comes any sooner, we'll let you know. But definitely be prepared for October 24th. I know it's been mentioned before, you guys may have already seen the flyers that have come home in your backpack, in your child's backpack, but we do have our fall scholastic book fair happening. It will be the 15th through the 17th, and on the tail end of the book fair, we will be hosting Trunk or Treat at FGL. So make sure to come out for both of those events. Near almost the end of the month, we will be hosting our general membership meeting for the month of October. And then at the end of October, on the 24th, we will be having our first family fun night event, and it will be a Halloween movie night.
The only other thing is we will be doing a made-to-order streetwear sale that'll be happening this month as well. So, and just like the other organizations, our fundraising helps us support, as much as we can do. And if anyone would like to help in terms of bringing ideas to our events and the things that we do, we're totally open to ideas. We do have some, tried and true events that the community love and we love as well, and our students love. But we're here for everyone.
So I think that's all we have. I don't know if Amelia was able to look up.
I was gonna say, I know you had the QR code on the first one, but just in case anyone didn't scan that, yours is hhepta.givebacks.com.
Any questions? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
We are demonstrating teamwork as we continue on with our partnership with our SEPTA.
Hi, so I am one of the co-presidents of SEPTA. Go to the next slide. So people have probably seen me many times and will get sick and tired if we say this, but a lot of people really don't still know what SEPTA is. And SEPTA is the PTA that represents every single child. You do not have to be in special education. We will still advocate for you. We still support you. We support everybody. So the Adjournment SEPTA has a mission statement now, which our lovely secretary did for us. The Adjournment Special Education PTA is dedicated to supporting all learners and empowering families across our district. We work together to provide resources, programs, and opportunities that benefit students of every ability, their families, and the educators who support them. And that's a really big thing. We really support our educators. We welcome parents, teachers, administrators, and community members to join us in our mission to ensure that every child can thrive. SEPTA is a district-wide organization representing all students, and I will emphasize this 500 million times over, served by our district, ages 3 through 25. We work to ensure equitable access to education, we advocate for student needs, and we support, I can't even read that, sorry, inclusive, high-quality learning environments for every learner. And we work very closely with Mr. Marino to make sure this happens. We meet with him every month. Our board this year, our co-presidents are myself and Christy O'Jackson, who's going to be here tonight, our Vice President Kelly, our Treasurer Gina Placo, and our Secretary Bertha, who's over there. Our 24-25 highlights. So last year we were able to actually do a lot more than we had hoped. We funded an apple picking trip for one of our ABC classes. We awarded grants to E&L departments for flexible seating and some extra sensory needs. We provided butterflies for the entire first grade. We had many teacher grants. One of the biggest ones was Chicks. We support the Chick Project every year. We make sure our ABC kids and our 12s get their own chicks in their classrooms so they can take part in it. And the new thing we did last year, and we would really like it to grow every year, is a backpack and supply drive over the summer. We actually issued many backpacks through all 5 buildings. We had high schoolers, middle schoolers, they got their backpack filled with all of the appropriate supplies for their grade, and the little ones got lunch boxes included. So we really hope to continue doing that next year, and would like to collaborate more with buildings, hopefully. It was new, but it was a really good initiative, and it made us realize there's a lot more people in need than even we realized. Next slide. That is our meeting schedule for the year. All of our meetings, for the most part, have presentations that are educational for all parents, even community members. We really welcome everybody to come and learn. Our next meeting is next week, October 9th. At 6:30, the high school principal, Mrs. Alves, is going to come and have a special meet and greet. And then our regular scheduled meeting at 7 o'clock, we will have a presentation from Northwell Health about their partnership with our district, which will be very informative, and we invite all of you to come. If you have any questions ever, you can reach us at our email, which is penhutsepta@gmail.com. And we do invite everybody to please come to our meetings. It's a really great place to meet other parents and just get educated and learn something new. I learn something new all the time. And our fundraisers and goals for this year. So this year we are taking on a much bigger initiative to fundraise.
Much bigger.
We currently have a Cherry Hill Otis Buckmeyer fundraiser going on. If you order, a lot of people have already ordered, all of the frozen items will be shipped and dropped into my house. I will be scheduling a pickup, which will be arranged. I will let you know as soon as I know when it is coming. So if you see a Croton address, some people were confused why it was a Croton address and not a school address. It's because it's all shipped into my house. I don't know how I got so lucky. We do have a spirit wear store that will be coming up within the next month too, to look forward to, and we have some really good things planned for this year. We really want to be able to do more, support more. We really work on supporting our staff. We want to make sure we're also supporting our upper level buildings as well, and making sure that they know that they can come to us for support. We're not just here for elementary, we are here for everybody. And I have to say, Dr. Toro and Mrs. Alves have been wonderful and really want to work with SEPTA, so I think this is going to be a good thing for the upcoming year. And join. Just your membership. Preach to join it.
Join again.
Just join.
As best you can do.
Join. We do have a big
You guys did my job for me. I do have it pulled up.
Bertha was updated on the fly.
But yeah, please just join and feel free to come to our meetings. And again, you really don't have to have a child in special ed. We welcome everybody.
And if you want to be involved, go for a position on our EC boards. As you can see, some of us are doing multiple duties on our PTAs, and it's great to have new people and new ideas.
And there is a Google form that you can fill out if you would like to join one of our committees. We're going to be starting new committees this year. One of the biggest ones being just like parents getting together, like parent training and parent support groups. We want to do different parent support groups for different needs. Please fill it out. And if there's anybody you'd like us to bring in for a presentation, we want to know what you want to know about, because we're here to help you. And if we don't know what you want to know, then we can't give you what you want to know. Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Janine, are you going to be doing advocacy as well? Oh, Bertha. Okay. Thank you. Welcome. So we are going to now shift to our presentation by our PTA Advocacy Committee.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Martha Morero. I'm here tonight as the Special Education PTA Advocacy Co-Chair. The HHHS PTA Advocacy Committee is a standing committee of each PTA unit in our school district. The mission of this committee is to provide parents and the community with information and education on topics that are important to those within our district, and to give parents and community members an opportunity to discuss those topics so that we can advocate together locally, regionally, and statewide to encourage change. During the past several years, Advocacy has been actively working on important issues. We have advocated for school bus safety, increased school funding and safety with the closure of Indian Point, school food programs, mental health supports, and educational opportunities. To accomplish this, we've hosted events and campaigns, including town hall forums with local politicians, meet the candidate nights with our Board of Education trustee candidates, school budgeting process, student mental health workshops, the role of a Board of Education trustee, the Indian Point closure and impact on Hen HUD, and school bus stop arm cameras to improve transportation safety. Please complete our survey by October 6th to tell us what areas you think are most important to focus on, and volunteer to help us. Topics under consideration include school funding and safety with Indian Point decommissioning, student mental health, school food programs, New York State PTA advocacy efforts, a later high school start time, cell phone policy implementation, depolarizing and bridge building in our community, providing a welcoming school environment, vaping and drug use, clothing and security, transportation safety, AI in the schools, and of course the survey also has a space for other suggestions. For our upcoming meetings, we also have opportunities for engagement. Our kickoff meeting will be held on October 6th at 7:30 in High School Library. On October 20th, we'll host a Let's Talk Curriculum and Instruction with Lauren Scollins, Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction, at 7:30 to 8:30 here at the Hendrick Hudson High School Library. On November 13th, we'll hold a Committee Updates meeting, 7:30 to 8:30 here at the High School Library. And on April 29th, we'll once again host the BOE Candidates Forum at the Hen HUD Free Library if there are more candidates than open positions. On behalf of the PTA Advocacy Committee, thank you for your time and continued partnership. To contact us, you can reach us at pta.advocacy@henhudschools.org. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So before I turn it back over to President Silverman, I just want to thank every PTA executive member here and also all of your members for the wonderful partnership on behalf of our students. It's a pleasure to work with you. Look forward to continuing to work this year, and thank you for coming out this evening and being so patient with us.
Thank you guys so much. And at this time, I would move that we recess for 5 minutes.
Motion?
All in favor? Thank you. The board is now returning from a brief recess so that we could take our official photos. Moving on to consent agenda. Is there anything that anybody would like to pull from the consent agenda? May I ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
All in favor? And there is one item that was removed from the consent agenda, 7.1 donations. So the board has received a donation from Donors Choose for $501.31 for school supplies for a classroom at Buchanan Verplank Elementary School. You can see there, the second grade teacher, Miss Cooley, has received a donation through Donors Choose for school supplies for her classroom in BB Elementary School totaling $501.31. These supplies will be utilized by the students for various projects throughout the school year. May I ask for a motion to approve the donation?
Motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Point of information.
Yeah.
Great question. So the question was raised at the table. What is Donors Choose? Donors Choose is I guess you call it crowdsource funding that people can sign up for. And what the board is seeing here is they're seeing their policy work at work. There is no mechanism for individual teachers to accept, or any staff member to accept donations without a policy that brings that donation to the board for a number of reasons. Number one, to have fiduciary oversight. Number two, to make sure that we recognize the donation in public and to officially accept it for the use of the district. So that's your policy that was just recently updated at play to allow this to occur, because without that, this donation would not be able to be accepted. For the gift, yes.
Okay, so that moves us on to our audience comments on agenda items. Carmen, do we have anyone for that?
We do not.
Thank you. Okay, so we are moving on to section 9, which is our presentations and discussions. As previously noted before, we will be moving 9.1, the NYSSBA 2025 proposed resolutions, further down into the meeting after policy readings. So we do have our 2025-2026 district building department goals.
Thank you, President Stewart. I'll go ahead and ask Greg to pull up our presentation. So the presentation you're about to see had its genesis at our administrative retreat that took place over June 30th and July 1st at the start of the summer. I know it seems like a long time ago, and it's almost June already. But this reflects the continuous nature of our work here in the school district. We can go ahead to the next slide that, again, articulates our mission, which these goals are framed around. And then for our presentation objectives, it's basically to share the district goals as they have been worked on and have been approved, from my perspective, for our buildings and departments to begin continuing to work on those goals. Because, as I said, these have started since the summer. And we're already in full swing trying to meet those stated goals before. If we go to the next slide, when we talk about the continuous cycle, if Greg clicks on that link, the district had invested an extreme amount of time, talent, and treasure into a 5-year strategic plan starting in 2022. Part of that work was to have a progress tracking sheet, which stated where all the action items and initiatives that were articulated in the strategic plan were in terms of their progress of completion. That had been the primary mechanism of updating the strategic plan. 2 years ago, in the summer of 2024, end of 2023, start of 2024, we aligned any district or building and department goal to the strategic plan. It only makes sense to focus and prioritize our effort. We wanted at the same time to be mindful and update the district as we address those initiatives and action items. So I want to thank Ms. Scollins and Ms. Joy for their work to update over the summer the tracking item for the strategic plan, because our goals for last year and this year are all aligned to the strategic plan, and we wanted to show progress in that aspect. And Greg, you were on the...
I was on that.
You were on that. So that's, we're just sharing. It's on our website, and if you navigate to it, the way that you can navigate to this particular document is if you go to henhudschools.org, you click on the Board of Education tab, you'll see a strategic plan tab, you will see a document that's called Implementation Status Tracking. Go ahead, Benita. Did you change it on me?
So this one is the one that, the old one.
Okay.
So if you go to our website under our school, our district, there's a district goals.
Yes.
And the 25-26 is updated with that information. So
The tracking document or the goal document?
Both.
Okay, great. So both of these documents will be on this website here, which is under our district,
strategic.
Yep, our
So
district
strategic
district
plan.
goals.
You're there. So click on the district goals,
And
and
that
then
will bring us-
strategic plans progress. So that's the district goal document. And then if you go back to that page. Yes, and on the left side, click on strategic plan progress.
No, it's the implementation dashboard. Implementation dashboard.
Implementation dashboard.
The one above it.
The one above that. And then click on that, please click on this to view the detail, the first thing. And that shows you the 24-25 progress on column E.
So this was a great deal of work by Vinita and Lauren to take all the work that our administrative team and their staffs did to actually accomplish the goals as they stated that were aligned to the strategic plan, and transfer the progress to this document. So that's the connection to our strategic plan, and living out of our commitment to make sure we update that document. Because here's where we find ourselves. We could find ourselves spending all the time updating our progress rather than progressing towards the goals. So we committed last year to an annual update, and we wanted to show that we were being true to that commitment. So thank you, Greg. Thank you, Vinitha and Lauren, for that work, and Greg for displaying that. If we go to the next slide, keeping in that theme, I want to reiterate that these goals that we are about to present are not new or isolated. They are directly connected, as I said before, to our overarching strategic plan, and that ensures cohesive efforts that contribute to our long-term vision. You can find, as we just saw, the full details of the goals that we are about to share, that I'm about to provide an overview on the district website. If you go to henhudschools.org, click on our district where we just were, the district goals tab, you will see, as we showed you previously, the 25-26 district goals. Now, a word about the document. You may have seen that it's impossible to read. Please keep in mind this is a working document for our administrative team. We regularly, in our monthly administrative team meetings, provide time for our administrators to update their progress, to collaborate with their colleagues, and they take time. That is their document. The document we just showed you about the strategic plan implementation guide is more of the public-facing document. But in full transparency, we are providing both. If you want to strain your eyes, you can feel free to go into the slide deck that you saw before that is in a chart-based format, and you can squint and see what's there. But that is a working document that you can see in real time. We do share that in public for transparency. We will focus our time not on presenting the goals, other than regular updates at this forum. We will spend our time progressing towards the goals. As I said before, the administrative team during our district administrative retreat on June 30th and July 1st dedicated time to carefully select the specific initiatives they wanted to work on this year and prioritize those goals. So it was a very collaborative and strategic process. Once again this year, every single department, whether it be facilities, whether it be technology, superintendent's office, will have a consistent initiative. We had a wonderful presentation, detailed, thorough, and accurate presentation by Ms. Lauren Skulls and Mr. Chris Moreno last week on our multi-tiered system of supports program. Every single department will have a goal that demonstrates that MTSS is a consistent initiative across all of those, ensuring that we address the diverse needs of our students. We will provide regular updates at Board of Education public sessions during the 2025-2026 school year. This is our initial entree into that work. And to ensure accountability, we will continue to monitor our progress by providing annual updates through the comprehensive strategic plan implementation sheet. And if we go to the next slide, we will take a look at the summary of our building and district goals. So if you were to take a look at the specific initiatives within the context of the strategic plan items, we can see some trends. The similar areas that all of our departments addressed in the development of their goals. We're addressing the areas of clear and targeted communication, real-world experiences, differentiating academic opportunity, increasing access, visibility, and information sharing, student empowerment, independence, and advocacy, expanding leadership opportunity, and shared decision-making. The goals being addressed most frequently by our administrative team are those related to differentiating academic opportunities and increasing access, visibility, and information. And so when I take a look at that, that indicates to me a district-wide effort to tailor education to students' individual needs, enhance communication with the community, and prepare students for life outside of school. So our next slide. As we end this presentation but continue on the work of actually achieving those goals, I want to emphasize that today's presentation is the blueprint, not the destination. Our immediate next step is to transition this plan from paper to practice, which it already is. The implementation will, of course, be guided by our district mission. And starting now, actually starting in the summer, department's heads have begun to finalize the specific measurable action items that will bring our strategic goals to life in every classroom and office, ensuring that we fulfill this core purpose. We understand that this is a significant commitment, but that is why we do this, because in a school system with so many competing priorities, we have to focus our efforts. The day-to-day life of school has already started on us, and there are emergencies that pop up, student needs that need to be immediately met, but having clear articulated goals aligned to our strategic plan helps provide us doing the work, the priority, and the space to work on those. They're agreed upon, shared initiatives. And again, you can expect regular updates on our progress throughout the academic year, and our commitment to the community is centered on transparency. We will be tracking our success metrics rigorously. We will be making reports such as this to the public, And we want to also not only provide transparency to show accountability, but also to celebrate when we do obtain these goals, because they are a reflection right out of the strategic plan, which was a significant community investment and collaboration around shared action items that they wanted to see the school district achieve. So at this time, that is my presentation. If we go to the next slide, I will yield to any questions, comments, concerns. And I do want to thank our administrators for taking thoughtful purpose in crafting cohesive district-wide approach to their goals. And their efforts have laid a strong foundation for the future success of our students and staff.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
How many times do you anticipate doing like a summary of where we're at, like a
Sure.
couple of months, every check-in?
So if we reflect, if we model what we did last year, we have this initial entree to presenting the goals. Prior to the winter recess, we had another update. And then in the spring, we had a final summary of where we were.
Thank you.
And we can always touch base more if we need to.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That is my update on district goals.
I have one question. So we have this district goal outlined there. We know how complex these are, and you have your internal plan to implement them, make sure that they happen. So when we do a check-in, can we have specific measurable examples as opposed to like an overview? I think it helps us, even if it means bringing back our, as we reach a goal, especially the one around real-world experiences, bringing the students and the staff in to share that with the community, so that, you know, talk is cheap, right? So we want to see it in action. So a check-in of a goal is good, but it's almost nicer to see it really play out.
In terms of taking that tracking sheet and saying, hey, here's what we've accomplished.
Yeah, more specifics instead of an overview is good, but I think it's good for us and for the community to see what we're actually doing. I mean, like for example, having Chloe here, that's a real world experience, right? That was something, the whole community can see that. We worked towards that, the district worked towards that. That was part of our strategic plan originally. So I think it makes a big difference to actually show what that work looks like.
So for our mid-year update, perhaps sharing specific examples of any goal that has been accomplished in that time.
Sorry, I'm just on the page that you had told us to go to for the district building departmental goals.
Yes.
Just to clarify, so if parents at home wanted to see, like I'm scrolling through and I'm trying to see, where would the district, where on here would it be the district's goals?
Sure. So Greg, do we want to navigate there? So if we go to the home page.
This way maybe we could just say, here's where the district, here's building, here's department, so everyone knows where they are.
So when we use that term district building departments, those are the cumulative district goals. Those are the goals that we as a school district are working on. We have we have buildings within that district, we have departments within that district, but this is the work of particularly the administrative team that they are leading towards attaining those district goals. So if you click on the 2025-2026 district goals in the middle, again, this is a working document for our administrators. Many of the administrators, their goals are part of their overall evaluation process when we share feedback with them. It may not necessarily be their official evaluation, but it is part of their overall evaluation. So if you look here, we have the athletics department. Those are the goals they have chosen. That's the technology department goals that they have chosen. You continue scrolling up. Food service has chosen those goals. Facilities have chosen those goals. So these are the district goals. And this is a real document that we've asked our administrators anytime they make an update to go into that and provide it. We also provide formal time to make sure that as the day-to-day operations of school get away from us, Oftentimes, our administrative team, because they're so busy and because they're involved, and these are always in the back of their heads, they don't realize they've obtained it. So we provide time when we come together as an administrative team to say, hey, remember the work we did in the summer that may seem like a year ago? Take a look and talk to your colleagues about what progress have you made to this. And a lot of times it's getting our administrative team to reflect upon what they've actually done to show that they've met the goal.
Thank you. Okay, so keeping it with you, it's now time for the superintendent's report.
Oh, thank you. So moving right along, as we do have a number of policies and then some regional advocacy work to address. Wanted to thank our PTAs once again for coming this evening. I did have the opportunity, as part of our ongoing effort to better understand the student experience with the high school's transition to National Lunch Program, National School Lunch Program. I joined our students for lunch today at Hendrick Hudson High School. I was warmly welcomed by Tom in the serving line behind the lunch counter, who served me with a smile and was a wonderful representative of his colleagues who serve our students and who dedicate their time and talents to helping to provide our students with healthy and nutritious meals in a professional and caring way. I did take time before I went into the line to make sure I didn't jump in front of any students who were rushing out of there. And as I was waiting around, I took time to ask students what I should try. And I selected at 9:30 in the morning, as anybody would, to try the cheeseburger and fries. As you can probably tell by the way of looking at me, I definitely chose the cheeseburger. So I also had fruit to drink as well. And what else is better at 9:30?
The box is going to take extra.
I did not take extra from the box, but as I did grab my condiments, I did see the box, and I did keep my fruit cup. I made it a point to sit with students, move throughout tables, and ask for feedback, not only on lunch, but on broader quality of life matters that they may have had, such as closed campus, overall climate of their high school experience. And as always, our students were engaging, polite, articulate, and welcoming. The feedback I received, no pun intended or pun intended, was a mixed plate. Some students felt the lunch was fine. Others said it needed improvement. Some said it was better than last year, while others felt it was worse. And likewise, when it came to the idea of things such as an open campus, I heard a variety of perspective. Some students were hungry for more freedom, while others felt it should be an earned privilege. Yes, the puns are intended. So I'm not naive to think that students would be fully candid with me during a single lunch visit. To build that level of comfort, I know I need to be more present. So to that end, not only will I begin my residency next week, and again, my residency is a chance where I spend every day for the week in the building, unless there's an emergency, which just seems to happen every time I do a residency in high school. I take meetings here, I interact with classrooms, I am present for arrival and dismissal. I generally get a sense of the culture of the building and the pulse of the building. So I will be spending my residency here next week. I will immerse myself in the day-to-day flow and the culture of the building. Additionally, as I've said before, I will plan to eat at least one meal a month in the high school moving forward. And my takeaway from today's visit is this. Today's visit was not the final dish in an informing and informed perspective, but rather it's an appetizer. It's clear that if I want the full recipe for understanding, I need to keep showing up at the table. And in short, this first taste left me eager for going back for seconds.
I think we should clap that. That was good.
So, in all seriousness, I know that students may have been uncomfortable by me just showing up at 9:30 in the morning asking them questions about their lunch. So I will be back to seek more, especially as today is the last day that we have Ms. Claire Carey. She is retiring as of today, and we will welcome a new food service director who will bring in perspectives that they bring to the job as any new employee would when they come into a position. So we'll definitely be supporting that transition, but also seeing how that transition continues to progress. So, continuing with the update, I'm pleased to share that Victor Delgado has been selected as the Con Edison Scholar Athlete Award winner recently, and this is an outstanding achievement that reflects Victor's commitment to excellence both in the classroom and on the field. I want to thank Mr. Baker, our Director of Health, PE, and Athletics, and Coach Bailey for nominating Victor and highlighting his many accomplishments. We will be featuring a larger recognition in this week's community update, but I wanted to take a moment tonight in this forum to acknowledge the significant achievement. So congratulations to Victor on a job well done. We will be hosting two of our legislative partners in the next few weeks here. Assemblywoman David Leverberg's office has reached out to me to schedule a visit to officially present the district with funding for increased security measures that we were awarded as part of a Community Resiliency, Economic Stability, and Technology grant program, colloquially known as the CREST Fund grant. The district applied for this grant last year and was selected for funding to enhance our security system. Thank you to Ms. Jill Figueroa, our assistant to the superintendent for financial continuity and controls, and to Amanda Dolce Mascalo for their efforts in submitting the winning grant package. And we anticipate Assemblywoman Levenberg to join us at the Buchanan Verplank School on October 10th at 1 p.m. to deliver the ceremonial check. It's important to note that while we will have the presentation will take place then, the actual funding will not be received later in the year as additional state aid. And I would be honored if Board of Education members would be able to join us. And I know that you have been looking at your schedules to make that happen, so we look forward to celebrating with you then. Additionally, we do have Senator Harkin visiting the high school in October as well. He will deliver notification that he has secured additional state aid for the Hendrick Hudson Central School District, with specifics to be announced at that meeting. And it's a tremendous opportunity for our students to engage directly with another elected representative, and for our district to acknowledge his significant support. So I also encourage and welcome board members to attend, and I know you've been looking at your schedules for that as well. Last week, for those of you who may or may not know, I serve on the Indian Point Decommissioning Oversight Board, and it held its most recent meeting last Thursday, September 25th, and I was asked to provide an update on how the school district is implementing the gamma detection system at all of our buildings. So my comments focused on implement the details of that installation, but more importantly on the challenges associated with some of the externalities that we find ourselves faced with the shutdown of Indian Point. The responsibilities to include the gamma detection monitoring will fall on the school district. And these are important responsibilities, and they take time and resources away from our core purpose of educating students. So every moment we spend, and this was my central message to the Decommissioning Oversight Board, every moment we spend on tasks outside of our educational mission comes at a cost of instruction and support of our students. If you have time, I urge you to search YouTube for Indian Point Decommissioning Oversight Board, and they have their most recent meeting posted. I forced the cabinet to watch part of it today, so that's why they are looking extremely thrilled this evening. If you view the question portions of my statements to the board, you'll see the type of challenges we face firsthand. I was questioned by a fellow oversight board member, which is highly unusual since I serve as a member of that board, not as someone whose activities are under scrutiny or review. And this individual works for a prominent, well-funded environmental organization. That individual suggested that our district's $12,000 local funding expenditure was not too expensive, and that we should and that we got a good deal in our negotiations. I was quick to remind that individual that $12,000 is a significant amount for a public school and represent funds that could go directly to student educational purposes. You can view my full statement and the questions starting 47 minutes into the video, if you so choose. I will ask our district clerk, Ms. Carmen Koch, to add the video link to the meetings of our minutes for reference. And again, this context highlights the real challenges we face in advocating for our students while navigating oversight and regulatory expectations. And I'm very happy that the PTA Advocacy Committee presented tonight, because we have seen some advocacy efforts at play, not only in some of the increased funding we see, but just today, as a result of our joint letter that the Board of Education, some of our collective bargaining units, and the PTA advocacy groups signed, we had a meeting with Fran Willis, who is a regent, who pledged to continue our message of need and flexibility from the state ed level to the Commissioner of Education and the Chancellor. So she met with Ms. Scollins and Ms. Figueroa and I just this morning. And we did send that joint letter out to everybody in our legislative chain of representation, if you will use that term, all the way from the President of the United States to the Governor, down to all of our local and federal and state representatives, as well as the New York State Education Department. Continuing on the theme of advocacy, from September 17th through the 19th, I traveled to Washington to meet with Congressman Lawler's staff to continue advocating for our students and the sustainability of our district programs. His staff and I discussed the fiscal choices we face, either implementing program cuts or increasing taxes in order to maintain our educational offerings. I'm incredibly grateful to Congressman Lawler, who has agreed to sponsor the Stranded Act, which would provide much needed support for school districts impacted by closed nuclear facilities. What this allows us to do, in the charter of any nuclear generating facility, the nuclear fuel is owned by the Department of Energy. What most people would anticipate is when a nuclear site is closed and decommissioned, is that land would be returned back to the municipality for development. The problem is the spent nuclear fuel has no place to go. And if you look across the country, nuclear facilities that are shut down are storing their spent nuclear fuel on that property, which makes developing that property a lot more challenging. This Stranded Act, if it passes and becomes law, would allow municipalities and other taxing jurisdictions such as schools to tax that at a percentage that might make up for some of that lost revenue. So it's key to note that while Congressman Lawler has agreed to sponsor the act, it's now our job, mine in particular, to ensure that there's support through every stage of the legislative process. It's one thing, I'm sure as our 7th graders, 11th graders are aware of, it's one thing to just sponsor an act, but to get it through committee all the way to passage is a journey. So we will make sure that we continue to partner with Congressman Lawler to support that. Additionally, I've also invited Congressman Lawler to attend the December 11th Indian Point Decommissioning Oversight Board meeting, and it is my hope, through also my public comments at the DOB meeting, that we will have that meeting occur at the Buchanan Verplank Elementary School on December 11th to provide a direct connection between policymakers in our district. That is my update at this time. There are no questions requiring follow-up, and as usual, I will tell my children to go to bed. So thank you. I will now yield to our Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources and Leadership Development, Dr. Stephen Garcia, for his update.
Good evening. Just a quick update. It's always busy in the HR world. I still think that we really have a fine group of new teachers in our district, and I wish them all the best. At this point in the year, we kind of get into a rhythm, and we kind of start identifying the many recognition days, right? And we always pops up, and I just want to mention a few groups and individuals which had some recent recognition days, but also some upcoming days, important people who work in our system. So last Friday was National Teacher Assistance Day. If you don't remember, so we want to thank all the teaching assistants for the fine work on behalf of the kids. This month actually is National Principals Month in October, and that is obviously beginning tomorrow. October 2nd, though, is another important day, which is School Custodian Appreciation Day. And October 5th is considered World Teachers Day. So we want to thank all the individuals who work with us, obviously the teaching assistants, the principals, the custodians, and they really make a great effort to make sure that we provide our kids with the best educational opportunities possible. I'll share with the board in their update in writing all the other days which are kind of coming. It's just important sometimes to take a pause and to recognize those individuals that make our school district very special.
Thank you, Dr. Garcia. I will now ask our Assistant Superintendent for Financial Continuity and Controls, Ms. Jill Figuerella, for her update.
Thank you. Like the HR department, there are many things going on in the business office that are keeping us all very busy. This past week, we've been securing a lot of documentation as we get ready to purchase our first 2 electric vehicles. They'll be coming in some point this year, probably about mid-year, so we're trying to secure some of those rebates and vouchers that that are going to be coming to the district through the federal government. I'm also been working on some things with our capital markets as we secure financing for our capital project, because right up until now, we've been just doing some of the work, but we haven't really been going out to get that financing. So something that's going to be happening in November, just around budget season when that starts. So we're starting up talking about our budget and what that impact is going to be for this year, planning that, how we're going to start that process. And our annual external audit, I've mentioned it, meeting after meeting. It's finally done and over with. I think on the, next week at our October 8th meeting, we'll be having a presentation from our auditing firm, PKF O'Connor Davies, and we'll be having a presentation of that result and our corrective action plan at that meeting. So that's what's coming up for us.
Thank you, Ms. Figueroa. And just for a point of clarification, the electric bus purchase was part of our ballot measures last year during the budget vote, correct?
Yes, the proposition was passed.
Was for electric
at
buses.
Yep, at the May vote, and so this is just the beginning of the process of purchasing those 2 vehicles, plus we have some other gas vehicles that we're purchasing this year from that proposition. After 2027, we'll no longer be able to purchase gas buses. As far as the legislation goes, that's what we've been handed down as a guideline. So for now, that's to be continued.
Yes, thank you.
Can I ask about, what's the delivery time on those buses right now?
So right now, we probably won't be taking delivery till January if they're available at that point in time. So right now, it's just securing, the purchase of 2 of them. That's what we asked in the proposition, that we would be piloting those 2 this year.
And we have infrastructure to support them?
So we'll also be installing infrastructure for the 2, just charging stations. It's not real big infrastructure, but they're charging stations. And again, those are also being installed with rebates available on them as well. So we hope that program continues, because all of this right now, they have very high price tags on them. And, to sustain or implement these replacement buses in our fleet, we have 45 buses approximately. So, 2 at a time. It's going to take quite a while to do, so I imagine at some point we're going to have to increase that number that will be purchased. We're all hoping that the prices are going to decrease as they become more available.
And we have to replace, we have 2 buses we have 2 buses retiring.
Correct. So we will be trading in 2 buses, as well as receiving an IRS, credit towards, I think it's $40,000 each on each of the buses, plus $257,000 each bus that we turn in. They're also double the price of what a bus is right now, a gas bus. So it's all relative. It comes down to approximately the same price we pay for a gas bus right now. So they're making it affordable at the moment.
This is a very operational question, but I know that there's different fire department. Just if there's ever a fire with one of these, have we checked with our local fire departments to make sure that they have the ability to handle a fire like that?
So personally, I've not.
Prior to Jill's arrival, our security consultant, Amanda Moscalo, and I met with first responders, and the information was shared that we are making this transition because there is a concern, because if these buses are involved in any type of incident that might cause it to catch fire, they do have different protocols than what we currently have. So once we receive the buses, we will do another reach out to our volunteer fire departments or our fire departments to have them come and look at the specific type of bus that we have, so that they can gain an understanding.
Yeah.
And this goes, I was going to answer that question myself, so great minds think alike. This also goes along in some of the regionalization conversations we had last meeting, where we know that another component of this is training for mechanics. And so we are having conversations at the regional level of, can we create a repository of trained mechanics to support, because it's obviously different than a petroleum powered, I know I'm using the wrong word, engine, combustion engine, I guess is the best.
I anticipate, professional or, development of the, being offered to already existing employees throughout the districts in New York State and other parts of the country who are also experiencing the same thing. I'm sure this is not, it's going to be slower moving, I think, than they anticipated. But of course, they have to get the ball rolling, so we're all, trying to get on board with doing that and seeing how it's gonna pilot out for our district, you know.
I was gonna say, I know when we were in Albany for the conference that we went to, they talked about the state might push that date back, like the compliance date that they have for everyone right now, just because a lot of school districts were having great difficulties figuring out how to put that money for the buses into their budgets and also coming up with such a dollar amount for the full replacement. So
Right.
hopefully it'll give us a little bit more time.
Yeah, there's a lot of challenges that come along with it, and one of them is supplying you a proper amount of electrical, power to run these buses, right? So, I mean, there's so many different pieces of it. It's not just about affording, right, the actual vehicles, but, how do we keep them going, and who do we have that we employ that can keep them running? So, yeah, there's a lot of moving parts.
You don't have to answer this now, but I've always wondered, compared to a gas bus, how much longer does the electric bus run than the gas-powered bus?
I don't want to disappoint you with my answer.
Okay, I don't know the answer, and I've always wondered why they're.
Yeah, well, rumor has it that that's not the case, that they don't outlast.
So the guidance we have received is to make sure that if you do send a bus on a long trip, to have a gas-powered vehicle on standby at this point in time.
I think you're talking about the life of the bus
No, I mean the lifetime.
Oh, the life, sorry.
The lifetime of the
ignore what I
bus.
just
I know
said.
you have to
Don't
charge,
take it
but,
too far from
yeah, no,
that.
I'm sorry. I was just talking about the lifetime of the bus.
I wasn't sure, I was thinking you were asking, I wasn't sure which one.
No,
Well,
lifetime of the
both
bus,
of them
sorry.
are challenging because I don't think that the lifetime of the electric vehicles is as, as long as the gasoline. It all depends on its care and
Yeah.
maintenance as well.
I
So,
think New York State needs to have some breaks on this.
there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, there's a big conversation there. Okay. Thank you.
Moving right along. We'll now ask, thank you, Ms. Figueroa.
Yeah.
I'll now ask Ms. Joy to provide her update from the Executive Director of Technology and Innovation.
Sorry. Good evening. So our STEAM teachers met with our instructional technology facilitator yesterday during the grade level meeting, and we discussed a couple of things. October 20 through the 24th is celebrated as the Digital Citizenship Week, so they're actually creating lesson plans that ties back into the theme that's going to be celebrated during that week. Our instructional technology facilitator is also going to be drafting a letter to go to the staff and parents explaining some of the activities that's happening in the classroom. I also got a chance to meet with them about some of the clarifications that we have around WIN and how the STEAM activities actually tie back into the WIN activities. During the grade level meeting, they did talk about the understanding is mutual across the board, so all schools are doing the same activities or activities that are not deepening students' understanding and more project and enrichment activities during that time. I got a chance to actually attend Learning Future and Tech Media Conference at the PNW BOCES today, which was really awesome. There's a lot of conversation around the future of AI in schools. I was really interested in, because since AI came out, there's a lot of AI tools for teachers and students. We do have school AI in the district that teachers use, and some of the teachers are starting to use that with the students as a space for them to interact. But then these platforms we've been waiting for is how do you connect all of our infrastructure back into the AI. Private sector already has this in a lot of companies because, as you know, AI is an open source. You don't want to put all of our data in open platforms. But there was a company that was there, Brain Freeze, we were asking why it was called Brain Freeze, but he didn't have a good answer. But the company is called Brain Freeze, but you can actually integrate our different systems into that AI platform, like our food service system, our HR system, our learning management system, student information system. So you can actually prompt and ask AI questions, especially I was thinking of like budget time and things like that. You can ask questions to the AI to come up with answers. So that's definitely a company I'm interested in following up with. Also in the Friday's update, I talked about our VoIP phone system upgrade. This was part of the budget last year. Our phone systems has been, since I came in, I knew it was something that we need to address, but it was working. So I there was other things to concentrate on. So year before last year, we had taken a few different vendors to take a look at our VoIP system, get quotes. We chose ComSource to be our partner in this. Our current VoIP system was behind by about 6 versions. So a lot of times when features were not working, when we call them, even though we have support, because we're so behind on that versions, we don't get support. So we're finally going to be able to do that. We start the work this Friday. Actually, ComSource was on ground this today. They have uploaded all the VoIP servers to our racks and all the closets. High school is pending. I think they are coming back tomorrow to finish that work. We're hoping to start Friday. We did send out an email to all the teachers about what the expectation is. Really, a lot of times teachers forget to delete any voicemails. So what I have done, this is my second VoIP upgrade in my career. So what had happened in the past is, because everything is saved, when we back up the system, it takes days to get that backup going. So we have sent out an email, so if any staff is listening, please go through your voicemail, delete messages that are not necessary, record anything, like I have sent out, we have recorder that's on the computer. You can record the voice messages if it's something that you really have to keep. So we will start that backup poll on Monday and start the work on the 10th at 4 o'clock, working through the weekend into Columbus Day. We will be doing a lot of the testing. 14th and 15th is not a day that I like to come into work, because it's going to be a lot of, my voicemail is not working, my extension is not working. So we will have support on staff in the district from ComSource, who will be assisting with those tickets for 2 days. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Joy. I will now ask Mr. Christopher Moreno to provide his update from Pupil Personnel Services.
Thank you. So for my update, I just wanted to highlight a few different things that are happening around the district that I'm very proud of under the PPS department. So first, I just want to point out that our Unified Flag football team and many of our Sailor students today got a chance to visit MetLife Stadium, spend some time with the New York Giants organization, and actually caught some passes from Eli Manning as well. So very cool, very excited, very jealous obviously as well as a Giant fan, but I'm very happy for our students that got that experience. So thank you to Mr. Lofton, Mr. Baker, and everyone involved with the Unified Flag Football program. Lauren Dendaro, our K-12 psychologist and behaviorist for the district, had come to PPS leadership earlier in this summer and really wanting to ensure that all parents, no matter what barriers they may have, were able to take part in parent counseling and training if their students were allocated that resource. And so she has been ensuring that all groups are represented, including translation services for meetings, having meetings at different times for parents who maybe work different hours. Overall, the response has been overwhelmingly positive. Parents who maybe didn't take advantage of those services in the past, meeting each other and gaining support from not only Lauren and her expertise, but each other as well. So very proud of that. Dr. Aaron Kleiman and the school counselors at the high school have planned and are going to have a HenHUD College Fair on October 10th. I've been told by Dr. Kleiman that they have over 30 colleges committed to attend. The fair will take place during the lunch periods for the students, so they'll be able to come and speak to different universities and colleges during the school day here at Hendrick Hudson. Brad Fredman for our high school PE teacher, and Brooke Bolin, one of our school counselors, and at Frank G. Lindsay. They've begun working with the peer leadership program, where our peer leaders from high school go down and work with our elementary school students at Frank G. Lindsay. So that started, and again, it's a long-standing program, very successful. I want to highlight some work by our high school special education teacher, Dennis Wolovnik, who actually has taken it on himself to implement components of job coaching and transition planning for our senior students in his classes, supporting them in that as they transition out of Hendrick Hudson High School this year. At the middle school, Dr. Jennifer Lupiani is going to be starting up her parent group. This began last year. It's aimed at supporting parents and helping them manage their executive functioning, anxiety, behavior, other sensitive issues during the middle school years, which I am learning from my own experience are plentiful in that age group. And so this is just some of the many things that are happening here at Hendrick Hudson, and we're very happy that they're happening.
Thank you, Mr. Moreno. And if any member of the Mara family or anybody associated with the Giants is watching, if there is a victory for the Giants this weekend, I know that there might be some superstition that they need to keep things similar to this week, so we will have to discuss, do we send our unified students down every week to meet with the Giants? So I'll be happy to lead that discussion. So, thank you, Chris.
One of the pictures we did get is an Avelinos box with Eli Manning's signature on it. I guess that was the only piece of paper they could find, so Avelinos might want to frame it, but it's very cute.
So I will actually ask Ms. Scollins now to provide her update from Curriculum Instruction and Assessment.
So I'm just going to touch on a few things tonight. I had the opportunity to visit our off-site UPK program. I've spent some time in our on-site program, but I'm excited to have the opportunity to visit our youngest learners who visit a Rising Star, which is also in our local community. And it's been great to see the program off-site and on-site and all of the incredible learning that our UPK students are doing. We are, as we talked about at the last meeting, well underway with our benchmarking and progress monitoring of where our students are. To that point, Mr. Marino and I have had the opportunity to visit MTSS meetings at every building and meeting to talk with teachers and principals about students. And at the elementary level, the WIN model has begun to take shape and is taking off. There has been great communication with our literacy and math coaches about ways to support students of different learning levels in the classroom. Opportunities for enrichment, pulling students out for additional support. There was great communication this week at our first department meetings of the year, where our PE teachers are planning on ways of pushing in and supporting students and movement breaks during that time. So I know that this is generating a lot of conversation at the elementary level and is going along very nicely with the presentation that our hopes and dreams from our presentation last time. As Dr. Garcia mentioned, we have an incredible crop of new teachers. We also this year have new mentor coordinators, two teachers, Stephanie Westrick and Amy Treza, are coordinating all of the mentors and the mentoring experience for our new teachers. Part of this experience is for our mentors to go observe their mentees. So that has been great. This year we were able to pair every new teacher with a mentor in their building, with the exception of one. So it creates a nice opportunity when it's in your building, and it also doesn't create a coverage problem when you want to go observe another teacher. So in order to help with the coverage issue, I got to spend some time in Ms. Boyle's class while she went over to Furnace Woods last week. Shout out to Ms. Boyle's class for being on their best behavior while I was in the room, learning about how they were using school AI to do some research on inventors. My last shout out is our Centennial Celebration Committee. We are well underway planning our May events. And that is 3 events in May that we hope to share more information about. But I'd also like to shout out the HHCEF in that conversation, because they've played a huge role in ensuring that our biggest event of that month, our Centennial Evening Dinner is being planned. We have a date secured and are planning away. So those are the big exciting things from my office.
Thank you, Ms. Scollins. So just 2 things. I had 4 rules in my classroom when I was a teacher. One of those rules was give the substitute teacher a chance, and based upon the photographic evidence that I received from Ms. Boyle's class when Ms. Scollins was the substitute, the smiles demonstrated that she was given more than a chance and welcomed in the classroom. So thank you for modeling the type of leadership.
I got lost once. I walked the wrong way down the hallway. The kids told me that.
And Ms. Scollins started her update by talking about the partnership and collaboration that we have with our UPK programs. We are, and I anticipate recommending opportunities on how we may be able to provide more and increased oversight and collaboration with our UPK programs throughout the school year. So that should be forthcoming. So at this time, that is the superintendent and cabinet level updates, and we will turn it back over to Ms. Silverman.
Thank you, and that brings us to the theme of the night, which is more goals. We are going to look at our board goals. Okay, so tonight is just going to be one of our initial discussions. As you can see there, everything is always rooted in the mission statement of Hendrick Hudson. And if we look at our objectives for tonight, first is this is going to just be the start, like I said, of our conversation of our goals to establish them. We're going to hopefully create goals that our aim is to accomplish by the end of the school year. Tonight, what we're going to do is collaboratively draft some goals, and then our goal will be to review, refine, and finalize them at our next board meeting, which I don't know if realistically we will be able to do by October 8th, but within the next couple of board meetings then. And just full transparency, before this meeting, the board was asked to bring any ideas, discussion points, or draft goal statements. Some of those you will see already in the presentation that were submitted, and some will be added throughout the discussion. So as always, here are the roles of our of a board trustee. So this, you can see the powers and the duties of what we can actually control or be in part of, and what we cannot. So our job is to oversee the district affairs, students' education, personnel, and properties. So we will, in tandem with the district, develop a shared vision and goal, ensure alignment of strategies, resources, policies, programs, and processes with our district goals, and evaluate how we are doing. So the agenda for this is we're going to present some goals that were submitted and proposed from board members and throughout discussions. We will talk about any new goals that we want to potentially add and see which goals we want to keep or if we want to eliminate any. The goals that we do have, we also asked for some action items that how we can make sure that we are achieving those goals, and then we will have an open discussion. So here are 5 goals that were presented throughout discussions. The first one is to continue what we have been working on, which is revising and updating policies. And this year, one of the areas that we could focus on the 5,000 plus series. Second one is to monitor progress of facilities, improvements through the capital project. Third is to enhance community involvement. Fourth is approving a fiscally responsible budget. And 5, prioritizing regular oversight of student academic progress and curriculum. So I leave it to the board now to discuss. Are there any goals here that we want to remove? Are there any that we want to maybe say that those we should definitely move forward with? Or are there any additional goals that we would like to put forth on the table?
I'll start. So this is 5 goals. I have a thought on an additional goal. 5 or 6 goals is a lot. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking about this and going through this. If there was one to remove, for me, it would be the policy goal, because we have shown that we are actively working on this. It's also hard because we depend on NYSSBA to send us these policies. So and I think we're really committed to this. I think this goal is something that we just do in practice now, and we actually wrote the policy last year that tells us how we review policy on an annual basis. So I think that goal, if I had to eliminate one, it would be start there. So we can get this down to not so many goals.
Before we go, can we also hear then, before
My other
we move
one?
on, the one that you would like
So
to put in for
we've been
discussion?
talking a lot about student health and wellness and how that pertains to us. I know we are going to, the goal is to establish a wellness committee, right? That would be under the guise of the district, but we would be members of that committee. So the way that I wrote this and thought of this is trying to do it in the guise of how it could be tied to policy. So hold on, let me just read it. Student health and wellness. The Board of Education will prioritize student health and wellness by strengthening policies, partnerships, and accountability measures that support social emotional learning, nutrition, and physical fitness and athletics, ensuring that all students have the foundation to thrive academically and personally. That was my thought, because I think we talk a lot about this, but we don't, we talk about academics, but it goes hand in hand.
So, I love the idea of adding that. Do you have an idea as to how the board would measure?
So we would review, my thoughts were that we would review and update any policies related to wellness, and make sure that they're all aligned, and I think we've done some of that work already.
And establish a committee.
Establish a committee, yes, and work on discussing as a group what policies we may put into place that can support our students in this way.
So my response to you is, I love this. I think we should make it more specific, like what you just said. So it's not like so big.
Yeah, we can always add the action items underneath, right? Like we have our overarching goal with our action items.
Yeah.
This is something that the group thinks is.
Would that be different from the committee that we already have, the wellness committee that we have?
We don't have it yet.
We are.
I thought we already.
We will be forming that this year.
Right.
In fact.
So that would be the same thing.
So
it would be part of this.
Yeah.
What I would, if you take a look at the superintendent's goals, what I think what might facilitate the board's role in this is one of my goals is related to implementing a parent university, which I could see coming under the larger wellness, because it talks about topics including wellness, outside organization, community members topics on some certain topics that would align well with it. I could encompass that and address it, mirror my goal to reflect the board's, from a governance body standpoint. I could take that and operationalize it, if that makes sense. So that we take, if the board decides upon this, we take an operational goal, but could bring it back towards governance for the board to still have that, recognizing the importance of it, and I can operationalize it without really adjusting too much what our focus would have been on.
Can I just, because I'm not an auditory learner, can I just ask you to repeat the part, I know you mentioned about like physical education. I'm trying to think of action items.
So
if you could just repeat like the middle part of it.
So we would support accountability measures that support social emotional learning, nutrition, physical fitness, athletics, ensuring that all students have the foundation to thrive academically and personally. And this can also be tied to our budget conversations as well, if we deem it to be.
Can I ask if there's a space in there also for like enrichment for the arts? Since we talk about athletics, emotional learning, those are a couple different aspects, but those are also the kids who really engage in a more creative way.
My thought was more of the physical fitness overall, but that's where the SEL piece comes in, like social and emotional wellness, to make sure that we're supporting all of our learners. So we can adjust the
I'm just wondering if the kids who aren't athletic, who don't use physical education as an outlet for their...
I hear it more as health. I don't know. If that's the way that I'm hearing it, health and wellness. I don't have a personal opinion on it, but...
No, I know. I just was hearing this, the social emotional piece, and then tying that to athletics and physical education, but then I don't want to lose the enrichment quality that we
That's
have.
why I think that it's more just health and wellness and establishing the committee and finding out what we do need.
Right. I just want to make sure that we establish this committee, that we are a part of it effectively. And it's kind of the vision that we've been discussing here for a couple of years, and a lot of things fall under that umbrella.
Do we create that committee though, or is that?
It is a board committee, I think.
We are a participant. I mean, it's required.
I know that we're a part.
It's a required committee we don't have right now.
It's required? We're on a lot of the committees, but I also think it's an operational part of Mike's purview as well.
Yeah, so it is not a board committee, but there is board
members
participation.
on there, so we wouldn't, our goal wouldn't be to create it, but it would be to
Provide
make sure that we're
governance and oversight.
active
Yeah, we can
members
Yeah.
and, right, I just, don't want it to be.
And if there's any way to combine this with the other goal, which is student achievement, because all of this is hand in hand. So maybe maybe we take the student success goal and under that, put some of these pieces, action items underneath that goal.
Yeah, I think you can enhance goal 5.
You can enhance goal 5 to include some of this, and then that way we don't have two, it's because they are tied together.
Well, if you're overseeing the students' wellness and success, then part of the action item is also the committees that we.
But I also want to make sure that we're looking at all of our policies going forward with this, through this lens of student health and wellness, safety, social emotional learning, like that should always be in the back of our mind. Enrichment, we always have to have these in the back of our mind. So if it's part of our goals, it will always be at the forefront for us.
So if I'm listening correctly for goal 5, we have right now, I mean, and again, the wording can be changed to, however, prioritize regular oversight of student academic progress. You want to do like a comma, student health and wellness, comma, and curriculum effectiveness, like you put it there, and then some of the things that we discussed, change out some of the action items. Would you guys be comfortable?
I think that's the idea, we probably just need to reword.
That's what I'm saying, like reword, like, but put that into
Yeah, and then look over the
academic progress, student health and wellness, and curriculum bundled with some action items.
Does everyone think that that's
I do.
a good approach?
Again, we can look at the wording and everything else.
Because the items underneath 5, I think
encompasses
all
part of that.
And also have to be updated, right? So, yeah, I think that's cool.
Okay.
We can try to reword
So-
it so it's more of a governance lens that we're looking at that.
We just have to be careful not to throw too much of the kitchen
Correct.
sink into it, because then it like waters down. It's
But we also, so I know realistically, like, and even now we had 5 potential goals, which is kind of a lot for a board to look at. We did want to dwindle down to probably about 3 or 4.
I wanted to ask, in a similar theme to what Erica had said, for monitoring the facilities improvements, isn't that exactly what we do with the facilities committee already?
Yeah, so if you look under, it's number 2, right?
Yeah.
It says in here, get updates from facilities committee, from site visits, walkthrough, our meetings, all of that. Yeah.
So wouldn't that just be like trying to improve like what we do in the facilities committee?
I think this is specifically though from here, from when we got feedback on this, that it's specifically to the capital project. So like we've been looking at, to make sure
like timely, like right now about
this capital project that was
getting
just approved, making sure that that's running on track. The community's getting the updates and knows, like, because there's so many, like we had the phase 1, phase 2, like just kind of making
So
sure
that's
that
not the responsibility of the committee, the facilities?
No, it
committee
is,
to
but
do
then
that?
just making sure that it's
I don't
being.
think we need a goal on that.
That's what I'm saying, it's like,
That's what you're
why-
saying, right?
That's exactly what I'm saying, is
Okay.
that why not fine tune, like, I agree, like, we've had a couple of good meetings, and Anthony's great at keeping us up to date with, but like, maybe it needs a little bit more framework just in that committee, and, you know, it can meet those.
I think last year that was probably an amazing goal, right? Because you had to go out to the.
We didn't have that.
We didn't have
had
that.
that 2 years ago.
This is
Oh,
new,
this
yeah.
That was
This is
Yeah.
what somebody suggested.
This is why we were saying that it's
Oh.
a good way to quantify what we're doing all year this year, since we have so many things happening.
Okay.
That it should be the role of the board to kind of make sure that all of those things are on schedule and it's all happening. And I think to have a goal like this, it also helps the community when we do those presentations to just say, hey,
To know
we
what's
know what's going on. We see the work that you're doing through the capital improvement, and people can actually see what the $30 million that we approved for that bond looks like and what it's doing. Because I think that's the big thing for the community, right? A lot of times we sit at this board table and we make up goals that we're gonna do, but what do we show for the goals that we're doing? Policy is the same way, right? It wasn't updated for years. Last year was a goal. We got through the 4,000s, right? It's things that we can show that we're physically
So it'll
sitting
keep
here.
it visible.
Correct,
Yeah.
and I think it's good to do that because, yes,
And
Mike
you can
sends out
utilize
pictures.
the committee as a way to make that.
Yeah, and then you can show your action item, your goal that you had, and these are all of the things we accomplished for the year under that goal, and actually show the community what we've been doing. So I think it's important to have the facilities because the bond was a lot. A lot of people had a lot of concerns with that, about their taxes and everything else, and it's good for us as a board to show what we're all sitting here doing and what we're overseeing as we're sitting here.
And there's also, it'll focus us to make sure, twofold, right? Because, and this actually a great charge for the facilities committee to bring things back to us. But I think it's also a good charge to somehow include in there a long-term, like start a 10-year building plan. So we don't have to commit to anything, but I think we should probably have an action item in there with that in mind. Having a lot of school districts have a 10-year facilities plan, a 15-year facilities plan. Mike's looking at me like I'm a little crazy.
I think we need that next.
But I think that should sort of fall under this, and if that's something that the facilities committee can start with, to bring back ideas to us of where we can go. I don't think it's something like, we're gonna put a bond up in a few months. I think it's a long-term plan.
Point of privilege.
So, sorry. So, and my notes are here, I'm not looking at my phone. So, in the theme of facilities, I did have two thoughts, and I don't know, maybe it's silly and we just say bluff and leave it this way. But two thoughts around facilities. One was, I know that at one point, whether it was last year or the year before, I think it was when I was in my last term, we had to really look at the facilities budget. And I think that small bump or whatever we did really helped our facilities team in terms of making some improvements around the district. So if there's a way to make an action item or tie into the goal to monitor closely the changes that we've made to the facilities budget, I also would love there to be some part of this, if you all feel it's possible, that we find a way to raise our standards and our expectations and our desire for how our buildings and grounds look. I think I've always been taught to dress for the job I want, and I feel like when students arrive to school, it should be, I can eat off the floor meticulous. And I know how hard our staff works and all of that. But there's sometimes just roadblocks. So I think as a board, we need to help support what we want to see. So whether it's through resources or financial or whatever it is, but I think that if we have a goal to make Henhud the most gorgeous district, even if we don't have a brand new building or whatever it is, I don't know how you add that to this goal. So just food for thought. Yeah.
And then when is our next building, to that point, when is our next BCS due, our building condition survey?
I believe the BCS was just submitted was just completed last year.
Yeah, it's only like a year old.
So,
I mean, it gets updated periodically, especially now with the capital project going on.
Okay.
That will be updated, things will be removed from it, things will become different levels of concern at that point once some of this project is completed. But there was a building condition survey submitted recently. I think it was last year.
Oh, I thought we did, I thought we had a full one in 2000 and,
I would have to look back. It wasn't during my time, so it would be.
It's 2024, building condition surveys were submitted. May 21st, 2024, for all buildings.
Are you talking about the 5-year plan like that?
because we did that 2022, I believe, or 2021.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't remember having that submitted last year. Building condition survey is
We
something
did the BCS my
separate.
second year on the board.
So I'm looking
Your
at the
second
state,
on the board,
the state portal right now.
So it's 2022.
Might have been in the beginning.
It was the beginning of 2022.
There was one done in 2022 and one submitted last year in 2024.
Okay. And you had something on the rules?
Yes, 2 points of privilege. Trying to synthesize what I'm hearing regarding this goal. I think what we can do is, part of my job here is to advise and remind the board so we can meet your expected outcomes as a board, but also synthesize and align with district efforts. I think that number 2 is a tweaking of the semantics rather than just focus on the capital project. If you want, what I'm hearing is we say monitor the progress of facilities improvements such as the capital improvement project, and you make it, and it's then our job, my job, to oversee. For the past 2 budget cycles, we've added $100,000 to the budget. So what that would look like is when we begin to develop our budget, it would be, we've heard that the board, as a part of their goal, would like to increase, would like to improve facilities. Maybe it's additional funding, and this is what we would do with that funding as a budget add, or it's redirecting funds that are already in the budget. We do have monthly OACM, which are owner, architect, capital, construction manager meetings that I know Mr. Merlini and Ms. Figueroa can then update at the facilities department. We also do have scheduled our OACM partners, so the owner, the architect, and the construction manager provide frequent updates to the Board of Education already scheduled for this year. So those would all be action items. I heard us talk about how do we develop action items out of that. If I could add a suggestion, we can tweak that goal's wording to talk about overall facilities improvements, and then we already have a number of action items that are going to be occurring that will create a natural alignment.
Yeah, that's great. And the last piece that I was going to say about goals was that I think every year that I've been on the board, we've talked about community engagement, and it's super important, but to me, community engagement always sounds like outreach, emails, setting up meetings, all of that. I would like to somehow rephrase that goal to enhancing the sailor culture. I think that we need to level up our culture, not so much communicate, if that makes sense. We do a lot of communicating. Sometimes I think we over communicate. So if we can somehow involve culture into that conversation, I think it would be great. Like, you could have a culture campaign, you could have a sailor pride campaign, you can do a million different things on that. We're going into the centennial. It's like, can we do storytelling throughout the year? I don't know. Anything that brings a real sense of pride for being part of Hendrick Hudson. And I think the board, part of the action item and the goal is that we will, I know we do this already, we'll all try to make sure that we are present, that we're involved, that we are exemplifying what the culture of Hendrick Hudson should be.
Can we get Hen Hut swag?
I know a girl.
What I was gonna say was the centennial is actually like the best thing we can have going into next year, because there's gonna be so much celebration and events that are going on, and there's never been a time that we can get that community engagement prior with everything else that we did. We did the meet and greets, we did forums, we did conversational pieces, come meet the board, and you'd get like 2 or 3 people. But I think having those events, if we can somehow incorporate some of our things into there and just making sure that we're present, that would be something that is possibly achievable for this year. Because there's going to be a big celebration around it, right? Lots of different people coming in, people we probably would never see if they don't have kids in our schools or they're retired, and I think the outreach for us there and the reach for that is going to be a lot bigger for next year.
Yeah.
Point of privilege.
Yes.
do we want to consider then looking at goal 3 to be more centennial focused, because that is a major component. Maybe it's the board's efforts will focus on supporting, promoting, attending
Because it does align with the community.
the centennial celebration.
Yeah, we had that that's one of the action items that was in there. Yeah.
So maybe
Because-
just take out at least one,
Yeah, because I think also it's gonna be,
but as
you
many
know,
as possible.
you could get like Buchanan people, the seniors, the Verplank seniors, a lot of people are gonna show up to those things.
But I
And
mean,
those
it's
are
already in
usually
there.
sometimes people we never, yeah, we never get to see.
And this is a once in every 100-year opportunity.
Yes, exactly.
But I think as a board, it's also important for us to really be in the community and be available to people to, you know, talk to us. And for us to go to them, not just for them to, okay, everybody come to, oh, well, you could have come to our meeting, but you didn't, right? But if you're out there and you're.
I don't know if people
And what
know.
hey, everybody, no.
I don't know if
mean,
people
and how
know who we
everybody
are.
watching?
I know a lot of people do know who we are, but like I've gone to, I've gone to, yeah, I was gonna say I've gone to like a few events, and I don't think like I've gone to sporting events with my kids recently, like because they pick them up from FGL, and then we just walk right over to here, and I don't think anyone knows who I am at those because it's a lot of like high school or middle and high school parents. They have no clue who I am.
I was gonna say.
Buttons would be great.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say that, like we did those meet and greets last year. I mentioned this, I don't know if this is even possible, but not many people came to some of the meet and greets when they could sign up. The times may not have worked for everyone. I was thinking like if we put out a way so people could reach out to us, or if they felt more comfortable with one of us, like knew us or had some issue they wanted to talk to, they could schedule a time to meet with one of us, and then we could bring somebody else from the board, but like almost like a joint time that would work for everyone, you know what I mean? Like instead of just putting out meet and greets like, oh, it's gonna be this day from this time frame, maybe we could be, if it worked, more available to coordinate a time if somebody had an issue or wanted to talk to us or get to know us. They didn't, you know, like you're saying, you guys have kids in elementary and middle school, but maybe if like someone in the high school wanted to specifically meet with you, or, you know, maybe just make us more like personable and real to the community than just, you know, sitting at a meeting or scheduling a meet and greet that may not work for everyone, or they're not even sure why they're coming to the meet and greet.
Well, maybe, so what you're both kind of saying is be a little more public. Be a
But
little
yeah,
more
public
also-
and
I'm
like
wondering-
personable, not that we're not personable, we're
I'm wondering though if I'm hearing like
friendly.
instead of us, if I'm hearing correctly, instead of us making a schedule,
Yeah.
maybe we have some kind of Google
Like I
form
thought, like
or
a
something.
submission form that
Yeah,
somebody
that
could just email it whenever they wanted, and if it works, or we could reach out and say, oh, thanks for reaching out, like, be happy, almost like you do, like, I'd be happy to meet with you, you know, what's the time that works? I don't know.
That's a good idea.
But I also think introducing ourselves more to the community, not just the kids, the
yes, of
parents of
course.
the kids that know us, but like
Yeah.
the discussion that we're having, you know, around seniors in the community that vote for the budget, and they get to vote for trustees, but they don't know who we are. They don't know anything about us. So there's got to be more public
Yeah,
facing
so they could
opportunities.
reach out to us too, if they
I
wanted, we
like-
could schedule a time, oh, sorry. What?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, no, like even people who don't have kids in the district, if they
Yeah.
wanted to reach out and come to, you know, get to know one of us, but we could schedule a time that all works.
And I also think we need to go out more into the community to meet them and not make them always come to us. Does that make sense?
Well, just this year, you're taking her to.
I was gonna say, I almost really like Corey's thing, cause like, I don't know, like, I'm not gonna go to a public event and be like, hi, everybody, I'm on the board, but maybe if we had a pin that just said like, Hen Hud School District Board Member, right, I'm not gonna publicly just announce myself.
Something funny that's like, that puts people at ease, like,
Well, I think just people seeing you at events is good too. Just, you know, even some of us may feel like, oh, we don't have somebody in this school, so we're not gonna go, or something like that. We just try to go to whatever we can. I think we do that anyway, but.
Point of privilege. So again, part of our job is to advise and perhaps offer some suggestions. The board has done a wonderful job over the past 3 years of having engagement stem from the strategic plan and a focus. And so there's structures in place that I think can facilitate a lot of what we're talking about here if we tweak it a little bit. We've been, I don't want to say passive in our meet and greets. We say, hey, as you said, here's a meet and greet, come to it. What if the board makes a commitment as being the representatives of the community? When we simply keep our scheduled meet and greets, but each board member who's attending pledges to bring at least one community member with them.
Ooh, it's nice. Email, you want to come?
She doesn't. I got one. Now you're assuming we all have friends outside.
Having sat at a lunch table by myself in high school today, it's not about having friends, it's about putting yourself out there.
So what do we do next with these?
You went to the lowest.
We're just
lunch.
Okay, so
work on rewriting.
So I was gonna recap. Are we all okay with removing one, but maybe incorporating those policy updates within other goals? Okay. 2, we talked about updating to be less about the capital project focused, just monitoring facility improvements, including the capital project and some action items. 3, we just talked about enhancing that culture and the Pride Centennial focus. No one discussed 4, and that's always a goal that we keep almost every year. Do we want to keep it?
Good. I think you have to have something around finance.
Yeah.
Keep them up.
Okay, and then if you guys can also look over the action items in the future and provide any feedback from there. And then 5, I'm hearing that we enhance goal 5 to include the updates that Erica presented on the student health and wellness.
Yes, academic excellence and student wellness goal.
Can repeat, academic.
Academic excellence and student wellness. So the board, I have to shorten this, but
And then if you,
I can send you the text.
Yep,
I kind of came
perfect.
up with something.
perfect, and then we can use that to create, so that would leave us with 4 goals that we can revise. Maybe can we bring back to the October 8th meeting with revisions and then further discuss and then finalize and approve that, or by that following meeting? Does that sound reasonable?
I have a question.
Yes.
How are we going to incorporate the 5,000 policies into all of those goals?
Well, it might
are
not
they all-
necessarily be 5,000, we're gonna, because we put 5,000 plus, and so there's 5,000 through the 9,000 we still have to do. We might not, we're still gonna do those, but we're saying we're going to make sure that our goals policy will be in the action item, so we'll then specify
So
within
here,
the action items.
point of privilege. Here's the beauty of when a board takes a cohesive approach to their efforts. If you take a look at our policies, the 5,000 is student, primarily around a lot of issues tied to achievement, or not issues, but items tied to achievement. 6,000 is fiscal management. 7,000 is facilities management. So as you work through the policies, you will be meeting some of your goals related to student achievement, fiscal oversight, and facilities development.
And board trustees, keep in mind that any of you can propose a policy, so.
Or a budget.
I think under every goal.
We have, I've just put each policy that he was saying by that goal. I got you, that's why we're, so it's like we're removing one as a standalone, but we're gonna put one as action items within. Now, realistically, because as Erica said, where we are waiting on NYSSBA a lot of times to provide us with those, we might not be able to update all of those, but then if we see something as we're looking at a goal, we can maybe send it to NYSSBA, hey, can you specifically, or our legal specifically look at these policies?
Cool.
Just, I want to commend the board because this is not easy work for a board to do. It's most of you sought to join this to make a difference, and it takes a lot to say, from a governance standpoint, how do we make that difference? And a lot of it has to do with trust and the understanding of the relationship between the governance team as a concept. And for 2 board years in a row, this board has demonstrated a laser-like focus on specific areas that are truly board roles and duties. So just want to commend the board for that and make sure that you're aware of that. But it's very difficult work because it's very easy to get into the weeds.
Okay, so just,
So, should I say point and privilege?
Yes. Go ahead, Jill.
No, just something I wanted to add to the conversation you may want to consider in part of your goals, either in the number 4, the fiscally responsible, or number 2, as it pertains to capital work. We did establish the capital reserve with the budget passing last year, and I think that may become more of a focus for you as far as, I know you mentioned like a 10-year plan, like that's, you know, it is something that, you know, we have in place now, so we should think about funding that and through the budget. So either through the fiscal, you know, goal or through the discussions that you have at facilities. So,
Thank you.
I'm a paper and pencil kind of gal. So just to recap again, we'll go back, we're gonna revise, present again October 8th, have our whatever initial or any other discussion, that we need to have there, finalize and approve October 22nd.
Perfect.
That's our plan. All right, perfect. Thank you. So that leads us now to our policy readings. A lot of these are going to be second readings. Yes.
At this point in time, I'd like to invite the cabinet, if they would like to be excused, they are welcome to. The board president and I both feel that your input has been received and heard and appreciated, and we can take it from here.
Thanks, guys.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Get home safe.
Well, adios.
Thank you, good night. Good night.
You each get to take a board member with you.
Okay, so we are up to policy readings. We're going to begin with the second reading revision policy 2120.1, candidate and campaigning. Candidates for the office.
Second.
All in favor?
Oh, right. Say your favor. Does anyone have anything to
I didn't know if anyone wanted to.
recap, or this is?
This just clarifies the petition process during the election season. This is the second reading of
Anybody have anything? Okay, so then.
Make a motion to approve policy 2120-.1, candidate and campaigning.
Second?
All in favor? Perfect. So we are looking at the second reading of policy 4321.07, district-wide and statewide assessments of students with disabilities. The Board of Education.
Motion to waive the reading?
Second.
All in favor?
This policy was a NYSSBA policy that they brought to us, it's required. We left the language exactly as suggested by them.
And this just ensures proper testing accommodations for students with disabilities.
Perfect.
Motion to approve policy 4321.07, assessment of students with disabilities.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Second reading of policy 4321.14, special education personnel. The board acknowledges its responsibility.
Motion to waive the reading?
Second.
All in favor?
This was another required policy that came up as we were reviewing the 4000 series. And it just lays out special education personnel, their responsibilities and obligations to students.
Any questions? Motion to approve policy 4326.
No, 4321, that one.
Oh, I skipped one, sorry.
It's okay.
Motion to approve policy 4321.14, special education personnel.
Second?
All in favor? Okay, we have the second reading of policy 4326, programs for English language learners. The Board of Education believes that students
Motion to
who...
waive the reading.
Second.
All in favor?
This policy, we just added NYSSBA to the, how the students are evaluated. I'd like to make a motion to approve policy 4326, programs for English language learners.
Second.
All in favor? So we have the second reading of the revision of policy 5152, admission and enrollment of non-resident students. The Board of Education affirms.
Motion to waive the reading.
Second.
All in favor?
So on this one, we just revised the language to NYSSBA's recommended language for our admission criterion process, and we adjusted the dates for the eligibility for our students if they move out within district or within the district or out of the district, and what that looks like.
Yeah, I think it just made it a little more
It's
detailed.
more detailed, more clear,
Yeah.
and specific to dates.
But it's really for non-residents, correct?
If a student
it's
moves,
both.
so if a student moves out of the district and they want to remain in our, and finish their year out, this gives them an opportunity to do that.
Thank you.
And it also specifically, the one thing that did stay the same is seniors, like students that are seniors, they were already allowed to stay within that time frame if they moved. But, so we kind of gave that after, and I think, what date do we use? April?
January 30th?
January 30th. We
moved it
discussed
up,
whether
yeah,
it was
we moved it
January
up.
or April,
Different.
but we just, and when we discussed this, we discussed it being January so that students could get their credits.
We did also, we included those students who are not just the seniors, the 11th grade
Yes,
as
it's
well.
all of them,
It
like
was-
now it's all students.
So this way they could finish with
Primary
their,
transition.
yeah, they could finish with their classmates.
Right, so they don't have to start all over and they don't get to take their tests.
Yes.
And they don't get enough credits, right?
Do I have, I'm gonna make a motion to approve policy admission and enrollment of non-resident students, code 5152.
All in favor? Okay. Last second reading we have, which is the second reading of revision policy 4531, field trips and excursions. The Board of Education encourages.
Motion to waive the reading.
Second.
All in favor?
This policy, I guess, just lays out like safety and approval procedures, right? Medication for field trips.
We had to add more specific criteria around transportation and medications to administer to students on a field trip. Motion to approve policy 4531, field trips and excursions.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, and then the last two we have are first readings for retirement. So we have the first reading to retire policy 4322, enrichment and gifted talented programs. As a district, Hendrick Hudson is
Motion to waive
dedicated.
the reading.
Second.
All in favor?
So the board is recommending to retire this policy because when we updated the MTSS policy, which we approved at the last meeting, we made sure that this was part of that policy, and it will also be part of our MTSS handbook.
Question. When we're looking at retiring policies, is there a way to note that? I mean, now it's obviously clear, but.
Sure, so-
But when I was reviewing it, I didn't know why
Yeah.
I forgot.
We have in the past put in the agenda item details, we
Yeah.
have in the past put that right on the, after the whereas.
Like if it's replacing something or it's retiring.
Do we have to read these twice to retire?
No, I think in situations like this, sometimes it's important to leave them, I think, to have a second review.
We usually do that, especially too if we haven't already approved
Right.
the
So like
replacement.
this, we should just approve.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
we've
we
already
were,
done this.
So I'm gonna make a motion to waive the second reading of 4322 of retiring the enrichment and gifted and talented programs.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. And then I'm gonna make a motion to retire policy 4322, enrichment and gifted and talented students programs.
Second.
All in favor?
And our policies do not get thrown, or retired policies do not get thrown in the trash at the wayside. They get their own resting place within board docs under the policy sections called retired policies.
And they live the rest
They
of
live
their
the rest
days
of
in peace.
Can we put a little, like maybe a little
No
stain
bother.
or yard outside of
In a
the
recliner.
district office?
Policy.
This is
Instead
where
of-
policy
instead of getting blocked, we have
4322
retired policies.
Goes to.
The same thing's gonna happen, I believe, for this next one. So we have the first reading to retire policy 4325, academic intervention services. The Board of
Motion
Education.
to waive the reading of policy 4325, academic intervention services.
Second.
All in favor?
So this is the same as the other policy. We incorporated academic AIS services into our MTSS policy, and it will be outlined in our MTSS handbook and plan.
This policy was just for the risk of like students who needed AIS on a standard basis.
And now we've kind of moved away from just referring to a lot of things as AIS. So MTSS cover, it includes AIS, but it's not the only service that's being provided.
I'd like to make a motion to waive the second reading of retiring policy academic intervention services 4325.
Second.
All in favor?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the retirement of code policy 4325 academic intervention services.
Second.
All in favor? So in case you guys forgot,
Oh, no.
we moved agenda
Yeah,
items.
But we're all in
Who's
agreement.
that?
Let's just do it.
Guess what? It's gonna go
Moved
so
item
fast.
9.1 to after policy readings, which is the 2025 NYSSBA proposed resolutions. And I'm going to turn it over to Miss Allison Hooven.
All right, let's make this quick. I'm just kidding. Everybody's had a chance to look at the worksheet. If you haven't, this is it right here. We had a call with the NYSSBA advocacy group with delegates from each of the districts represented in our district to come up with proposed resolutions for the advocacy that the state will vote on October 16th. We only discussed the first 23 resolutions because these are the ones that the advocacy working group came back and said that they would recommend for adoption. The rest of them they were opposed to. So we didn't discuss them, but they are included on the worksheet so you can read them. What we did was we took each resolution one by one, discussed it. The team took time. I don't know what that was, but
The owl's dying.
good night, owl. Good
I
night,
actually
my
thought there was
little
one in here.
and discussed it. And on the worksheet, what you will see are some codes. S means that we support it. That the delegates supported the motion, the resolution. S with the little asterisk there means that there were comments on the resolution. And if you look at the bottom of the worksheet, you can see all the comments that were listed that kind of helped guide our decision. And then if we opposed a resolution, it says O, and then also discussion points. And ND is there was no decision. So what we're going to do is actually come back together with that same group to discuss the ones we had no decision, and if anybody had changed their mind about one of these, or if they wanted to add an amendment. So we've got 2 more meetings before we have our vote on October 16th, and this is our opportunity for our district to come back to the advocacy group with any additional comments, if we want to change our vote, or if we want to, if we're in agreement with these resolutions. Just as a quick aside, I went through each of these and there was a very good discussion. I learned so much, and in the end, when I did listen to the feedback and then I was able to contribute some feedback of my own, I'm in agreement with all of the decisions made on the 23 here. And if I wasn't in agreement, I would have spoken up, but in the cases that I did, I was heard and we came to a consensus that I agreed with. So who has questions?
So this is actually one of the, after doing this now for 4 years, this is the easiest set. Usually there's controversial topics that
That's what I was saying before.
we have to pull out and discuss at length. Very straightforward.
Yeah, well, if you, that's what's interesting, and I love that they did this in 2 different blocks. So there's the ones that they recommended for adoption, and then there's a whole other set at the bottom that were not recommended for adoption. Those are the much more controversial resolutions, so I think you'll find a lot of those debatable topics down toward the bottom. But because the advocacy group came back saying, we don't recommend these, we read through them. Most of us agreed we wouldn't have voted for them anyway. So you'll find a lot of those highly controversial topics down there.
We could, as a group, pull one and say that we want to support it, one way or the other, and have that discussion, but I didn't have any that
I don't have any. I read through them and I thought they all looked pretty okay.
Yeah, and if you read the comments too, you'll see there were some that were actually, people were very opposed on either side, and those are the ones that are no decision. Yeah. But those people who did have, they were asked to go back to their districts, and if they didn't agree with it, to come back with an amendment, to change the language and come back with revised language. Or just to come back for further discussion after talking with our boards about it. So those are basically the ones that we're going to have to talk more about before the October 16th vote. So if anybody has any opinions or thoughts about those that are specifically listed as ND, please bring those to me before the meetings, and I'll bring those thoughts with me to the next series of advocacy meetings that we have. But
Lauren, did you have any? Thing that you wanted to pull from here?
No, I'm good.
Corey, Alexis? I only didn't ask Erica and Tamika because they just said they didn't.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I believe that if we are not making any recommendations that are different from here, we can agree.
So I'll make a motion to approve this. Then what I'll do is I'll go through this worksheet and I will fill in our consensus for where it says local board vote in the second column, and I'll take that back to the meeting with me, unless they ask me to submit it ahead of time. But I don't think they'll do that before our next meeting, because that's another discussion about where we're going to kind of decide on these ND ones. What I might do, if we still can't come to a consensus about the ones that aren't decided yet, I might bring those back, just those specific ones, to you guys to get an opposed or support vote from us in case they ask us for that. If we need to actually have a yes or no vote from the advocacy board.
Does it make it easier for you, for us to?
No, not necessarily, because some the ones, if there was one that was very specific that I thought we actually needed to chime in on, but some of these, so for example, NYSSBA shall advocate for the number of lockdown drills to be reduced from 4 to 2 each year. They're actually going to take this language back. They're going to change it because what they want, one of the ideas is to advocate for an overall number of 8 drills throughout the year, and that the local school boards could decide how they wanted to distribute those between fire drills, lockdown drills, emergency evacuations and stuff like that, because based on where your school is and what your environment looks like, you might have different needs or whatever. They think that local school boards might need to decide that for themselves. I don't think we need to come back with a specific recommendation for that, because someone was going to actually alter the language of that particular resolution to sort of feature that more.
The timeline is tricky though. So when do you vote on this?
October 16th.
So you have to have our feedback
now on this, what we have right here.
Now on the rest of it, right?
And then if it changes again and I need to get your feedback, I can send this updated worksheet that has the new language on it to us. But the next meeting I think is, sorry, I should have
just
had
4
this.
NDs.
So
there's just 4 NDs.
Yeah.
now, out of those, just to clarify, so like, let's stick with number 8. You're saying that everyone, unless any schools feel strongly one way or the other, like for or against, they're waiting for the rewording before they say they're for or against?
Right.
Okay.
Right, because people that's the thing, it's like they didn't want to say they opposed it, because they, some districts were like, oh yeah, I like having 4. In this specific instance, there was an emergency services professional who was on the call, who was a board member in one of the local districts, and he said, absolutely not. Preparation is key. We need it. We need every school, every week, blah, 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 right? He did not want to reduce the number of drills in any way, shape, or form. But then somebody said, well, our district does a pool of 8. The schools each decide, the high school does this, whatever, based on the population, based on the geography of the school, the layout, the logistics. So that became a discussion where one person was very, very strongly against this, and everyone else was sort of like, well, your school is different than our school, so maybe we just have like a general number that we agree on. It's not like we're telling every individual district, you must have this number, right? We're just giving a general guideline of we shouldn't have fewer than.
So the timeline-wise, when is your meeting with them?
The next one, yeah, that's right, I should have written that down.
What do we have to do tonight, vote on this?
Just on this, that we're in agreement with the meeting consensus. And then I will take that column of local board vote that we agree with the consensus. And then if anything changes dramatically from this, I will bring it back to you guys. So the NDs, I'll report it back to you. And if you disagree, you tell me, and then we have one more chance.
So what I was gonna say is, like, we're one of like, I don't know, 400, 500, 600 schools. So in the past, if we, because of the timeline of all of this, right, it's really tough. If we vote on this and agree as it is with the Westchester Putnam School Board meeting consensus, which we've done in the past, you just don't vote on that. Like, if it's an ND, then Hendrick Hudson just doesn't vote on that, and that's.
Yeah, you can abstain. You don't have to vote
So we
on
can
all
just
of these.
abstain, because the timeline here might just not work. Because unless we're meeting as a group, there's no way for us to give you direction as a group to vote differently.
Right, but so far, we can, except for those four.
Yeah, totally.
We can do the rest of them
So
and
do you
then
want
just,
to
just bulk them.
subtract those 4
We can vote in agreement.
in agreement with what's there minus those 4?
Yes, so we would vote to approve the recommended resolutions as stated in the meeting consensus. And then we will pull those 4, and I will bring those back to you after our next meeting to see if we have a decision.
And if we don't, then
If we don't, we can abstain.
Yeah.
Of course. Okay, can I have a motion to approve the proposed resolution worksheet for the 2025 NYSSBA Advocacy in agreement with the WPSBA meeting consensus as stated on the worksheet?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Point of privilege. Two things. One, the board, sorry.
You're recognized.
Okay. One thing the board may consider in terms of advocacy, we have the opportunity, the board has an opportunity to bring forth its own resolutions. Perhaps the board would like to consider some type of advocacy, perhaps namely the Stranded Act, depending upon where we are as we enter the spring, to then present for next year, correct. So
Yeah,
just
we said it last year, and I feel like we wanted to do something, and I don't know what the timeline is for that.
perhaps we could recommend the board reaches out to Karen to see what that process might be. And just a reminder, if anybody is looking at home wondering, the board is taking action on this. Just as a reminder, sorry, as Erica said, there are approximately 600 school districts, 660 school districts in the state of New York. The New York State School Boards Association is the sort of lobbying group, professional organization group for all school boards in New York State. And the Westchester Putnam School Boards Association is a regional consortium of school boards. And we are merely being represented by Trustee Hubin and Lauren, you're still
alternate.
You're the alternate. At the Westchester Putnam School Boards Association delegate meeting that helps guide the advocacy direction of NYSSBA. It is not our board actually taking resolutions on these. It is the support of the advocacy. And superintendents have their own advocacy efforts, which often aligns. Teachers Union obviously has their own advocacy efforts. So this is just, while it's not a formal action of the Board of Education, you are formally acting upon the support of these resolutions at a higher advocacy level.
Yes, and it's interesting, if you look through this, there's no Westchester County schools that proposed any this year that made it on this list. They're upstate.
There are a lot of Long Island.
A lot of Long Island and upstate ones, so.
But I think you said last year, it's a good way to sort of get a spotlight on the issue.
And just for information, the Q&A session for delegates to get clarification on these is at 12 p.m. on October 9th. Okay. October 9th is going to be a very busy day, but I'll be able to take any of our questions and get clarification on those 4 points
a week before the vote. But we're not gonna be able to change our vote as a group.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to abstain from those 4 unless we have a meeting.
Correct, and that is why the board is voting on this in public, because it exemplifies the act of the board. Trustees can only act, the power of the board is in the board acting as a board, not as individual trustees.
Thank you so much, Allison. I know that this is one of the best ways to like get acclimated, because we've all sort of been in that seat. I think it's a really huge learning curve, and you've done an awesome job.
Yeah.
I love
the passion. I know, I love the passion.
I love it clearly.
And
You're like, these are all the things.
And you might not be on the phone for 8 hours.
I hope not.
It doesn't sound like it. I've been.
It seems shorter.
It seems shorter this year.
The vote starts at 4 p.m.
I
The
think
delegate
I was
meeting
on
is at
for
noon.
boards
The-
at 9 last year, was it? Boards at 9.
We were on till 10 o'clock.
10
They were
a.m.
begging people to stay on.
You're on.
So thank you very much, because I know what a commitment this is.
There was
and
just so
how
much
time.
conversation.
You guys
It's
are-
like,
You just learned so much, though. It's
it's
awesome.
like if they didn't cut that part out.
Yeah.
We have committee reports. Anybody, committees meet and want to report out?
Next week.
Next week, we have all next week together, our thoughts.
Okay.
Policy, you can see the reflection of the policy committee
Yeah.
in the policy.
Facilities, we meet at the,
You saw the policy?
Yeah.
Soon, yeah.
10:20.
I didn't know.
Can I ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Third.